What do you guys give me if I kill that bird? Barbara, that's a bald eagle. Get away, baldy! Yeah! This is the Word with Mike, Pete, and Steve, GubsRadio.com, live here at AC Beerfest, session number 2 on a Saturday morning. Feeling hot, feeling good. Yes. We have Kim and Katie from Hidden Sands Brewery.
Hello.
Brewing company, we'll say. And thanks a lot for joining us, guys. You guys hanging out, walking around?
We're so excited to be here.
This is so awesome, so random, but we're so down to do that.
Well, I know our producer Tom said, I had a conversation with these girls yesterday. They'd love to come on. I was like, perfect, just grab them whenever you can. Great. And there you were, right there.
I didn't think it would actually happen.
This is our first time, both of us, being at the Atlantic City Beer Fest.
No. Really?
Yes.
My first time too.
We are having a ball.
We're breaking the seal for everyone.
Last night, today, we are having so much fun.
All right, give us first impressions as you walked out here and saw what's going on.
Oh my God. I literally, first of all, parking,
a lot of tents.
I was like, oh my gosh, where do I park? I asked 5 different men, and I was like, do I flirt with them?
Yes. Yes. I mean, obviously.
I flirted with 5 different men, and they were like, oh, just go show her. And I was just like, okay, I have a boyfriend.
Doesn't sound sketchy at all.
Yeah, really. Where are you going to take me, my guy?
Yeah. It's actually so funny because I thought it was just Jersey breweries, and I was like, when I imagined it, I was like, there's gonna be 12 tents, some food, and then literally on my way here, my friend is like, oh, there's like over 120 breweries there, and I was like, I'm sorry, what?
Now it's like 150 up there.
I know. I'm like, how did they fit this in the convention center? Like, how did that happen these past few years?
So they had it in it, but the tents were on top of each other. Things were really tight. This has everything spread out, and they lowered the capacity tremendously, too. So we were supposed to be able to carry, I think, 30,000, so 10,000, or 30,000 capacity on Bader Field. They kept it at 5.
Wow.
So even at a packed, sold-out session, plenty of room to walk around, plenty of time to get beer, otherwise you'd be standing on lines.
Honestly, considering COVID, this has definitely worked out.
100%. I was just going to say,
I'd rather it being
crazy.
outside. My first beer festival I've ever ran, it was outside, and it was the best. Yes, we were hot as anything, but at the end we were all pouring the water jugs on each other.
Ice
but
bags.
then we all became really good friends with all the breweries. We all became really close, and we're now every time I go to festivals, they're like, hey, you're back in the festivals again? I'm like, heck yeah, I am. Back in the game. No one's going to tear me down. You know what I'm saying?
That's it. Yeah, I'm going to give this to Tom so he can take pictures. You going to just send it to me, or you want to take it with mine? All right.
This is very cool.
So your first impressions, obviously crazy, big. Everything's awesome. What do you have a checklist for today? What do you want to do? Go besides us. Where do you want to go? What do you want to do?
I feel like everywhere you look, there's a different.
Well, it was so funny. Last night, right before the storm, it was 3 girls. They're like, okay, how many brews are going to hit before the general admission? And one person said 20. One was 25. I was like, no, we're definitely hitting 35. And then the rain hit, and we were literally hopping after each little increment of oh, it's not raining as bad. Let's go run over to the next one. And we didn't hit that many. I literally had a tally on my phone. I think we maybe had 8 beers, but the rain was so bad.
Yeah. It was torrential.
It was literally torrential downpour.
We were quite scared with the amount of equipment we have back here and the electricity
I don't know
and everything.
how you guys would do
but it ended up fine. We actually weathered the storm pretty well. And
no one got
electrocuted,
so that's
not yet. Not yet.
Not yet.
There's still 2 sessions. So
today
fingers
it's supposed
crossed.
to be beautiful though.
Yeah.
So
We'll be getting out there. We have a little bit of a job to do for at first, but then we're gonna travel around. I gotta get over to the table.
Oh,
tent.
Yeah. What are you guys pouring today?
Oh, watermelon sour.
She loves
Oh,
preaching.
shit.
It's our best seller.
We-
They kicked it last
They
night.
kicked the keg last night. It was so popular. People were literally coming over. They were like, "We heard about your watermelon sour. Like, we need to try it." And I was like, "Bet, here you go. Just pour
For
it."
sure.
People were coming up and they're like, "What do you recommend?" And before they even said that, I was already pouring the watermelon sour for them. And I was
Yep.
like, "This is what you're drinking."
100%.
The guys over there at the Jersey Beer guys recommended you guys. They stopped there. They all wearing the shirts all day
Oh, that's
yesterday
I
and
feel like
today.
this would be super
Yeah.
popular during this hot day.
Oh.
Like,
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
seriously.
Yeah.
It's
So-
like far from a line and kugel, like totally like next level good
Flavor
sour.
and what do you know what the alcohol level of it is?
It's 5.
Okay,
I
Excellent.
think
that's
Oh,
they
wow.
right there
all,
in the
they
middle.
all
Perfect for
range
today.
from like
Yeah, they're
4 to
all like
6.
they're
Good.
not bad.
But
I
it's,
mean,
it's
Perfect
funny
summer drinking.
because she loves IPAs and like stouts.
Okay.
And I like the sours and like the pale
For sure.
ales.
Okay.
So it's funny, we've been walking around and like luckily like every brewery has both of our
Something.
Oh,
flavors.
yeah, those are
so that
the
honestly
staples
is
right
like
now.
the best part. No matter what anybody likes, they
no,
have
seriously,
something for you
like
at each
shout out
event.
to like all the breweries who are like actually still serving porters and
Yeah, they're standing
Yeah.
up saying, "I don't care. It's the summer.
Yeah,
Everyone
it's
wants
summer,
a dark beer."
but
Yeah.
I like dark beers.
Yeah.
I'll drink a light beer. I'll drink a Dipa, triple, like whatever. But the fact I give more respect if you have like a stout or a porter on tap. That's bold because
Cypress had something that was like 13%.
I haven't
Yeah.
gotten there. We
Oh,
haven't
yeah.
gotten there yet. We're
It's
making
sick.
our rounds today.
And a
We-
triple IPA too. So triple IPA and like a 10 to 14% stout.
Yep.
Yeah,
That'll get you drunk.
I definitely had a triple. It was 9.4, but it tasted like a 4.4, and I was like, dude, I could stay here and get in some trouble.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Kim, you mentioned outside of New Jersey. So we have a couple of friends here, Long Island, down towards the entrance.
Mm-hmm.
They're from Long Island with us. And then Blue Point. Blue
good
Point's
stuff.
on Long Island.
Well,
so
we hung out under Blue Point's tent
Yes.
because
Yes.
it was raining
Yeah.
so badly, and they were so nice. And I found out that they changed their label, so
Yeah.
they're
Yes.
giving out a
Yeah,
bunch of
new
like
branding.
free stuff. And I was like, oh heck yeah, I love free stuff, free stickers.
Swag?
who doesn't
Yeah.
know?
You don't gotta tell me twice.
That honestly was the nice part about it raining yesterday is we did stick under a tent for a while and we like got to talk to them about
Not
their
because
beer
we
and-
had to,
well, because
but we had to.
We had to. Yes.
Exactly.
It was so awesome.
And what is the best that you've had so far, not from Hidden Sands?
You know what? I might be partial because I love Bolero.
Okay.
Bolero, it's a great brewery, and I always look at breweries like I need to know if like the guys are cool. If the guys are cool and they can talk to me, I'm like, okay, you're
Yeah.
a true brewery. You can have a conversation. So Bolero, I give them 110% like respect.
Yeah.
They are awesome. They can have a conversation, and their beer's freaking.
Do you know what they're pouring today?
They had a Pina Colada. Again, I'm really weird with like sweets and stuff, but that one was fire. And they were really nice this morning. I was like, guys, I'm from Tom's River. I drove home last night. I got home at like 1:30,
yeah.
and then they were like, hey, Katie, I got some Bloody Mary mix in this jug. I was like, my guy.
Yeah, they do it right
I need
here.
some of that right now, just to get kickstart all the beer drinking that we've been doing today. And
Nice.
no,
How about
this
you,
is
Kim?
Awesome.
Ship bottom.
Oh, really?
Bottom, baby.
Yeah,
that was
she
me.
loves
Love-
them.
Which one was it?
So I'm trying to think. I was trying to think, but it's raspberry something.
Okay.
And then they also had a mermaid blonde pale ale that I really liked. And then there was another one. Do you remember?
The one that I had that was the Gose. I just like anything with sea
that was
salt.
good. They just, oh my gosh.
Respect.
Every beer I had from them, they actually used to have, which is funny, a Baconator stout. Yes.
Come again?
Baconator.
Are you from around here? If you haven't heard of the Baconator, yeah.
The
Nope.
Baconator.
And
And we're
that
not
is-
talking about Wendy's. We're
No.
talking about beer.
Are they bring that with them? The Baconator? They bring
No,
it with
they
them?
did not
Oh.
bring it, but I have had it before. They said that they discontinued it, apparently because it wasn't popular. But like, I mean, if I was,
Have they met
I mean-
Pete?
I know it actually was surprisingly good. I mean, I don't know if I would like just drink the Baconator all night. You know, like I don't think I could
Yeah,
have
it's just
past
one
one
is a
day,
leg.
bold
like you
move,
did
yeah.
it, check off your
You wake-
bucket list.
yeah, like you wake up the next morning, you're like, oh, that Baconator in my belly.
I didn't peg you as a Wendy's person, but no, the beer I got.
Yeah,
Right.
no, it's
Taco
definitely
Bell
thick,
girl, but-
Yeah, exactly.
No, but their beer, when I saw them, I actually was like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to go over there.
Yeah,
so
she
they've
was major
been
fangirling.
Yeah.
Fangirl, yeah.
You could have thought it was Justin Bieber, but
I
no.
know.
Shit about
It was just
it.
the brewery.
But guess who was repping their hat all night?
I did. Well, because
you
of the
were.
rain and like I have short, thin hair. I know this is not a hair podcast, but
I
let's
mean, it
like
is now.
represent
Let's
for
go.
our thin-haired girls. I literally was like, I asked every brewery that we were like hopping to in between like the horrible rain. I asked the owner. I was like, yo, you're my last dude. I was like, I need a hat, dude.
You're my only hope on
And the owner took it off his head, gave it to me, so I had a
Aw,
shoot
that's
bottom
nice.
hat all night on my Hidden Sand shirts. I was like, and everyone was saying like, oh, like it's kind of weird that you're representing two breweries, and I was like, no, you know what? If you're into like the brewery community, like like it's all one family. It's not
Friends
like
of friends.
it's not
Yeah.
competitive. It's you make good beer, I make good beer. That's it. But it's not about like who's better. It's a community. That's why I have always loved breweries. I have always loved beer festivals because we're all a family. We're here because we have the same passion. We
love beer.
I mean, there are like the savvy like girls who are like, oh, I love like.
Do you guys get any of that? Like they give you one look and like you don't know anything you're talking about beer. Do you get that?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
That's
Here's
all
a blonde
that's
ale.
all
You
my
don't like
friends.
stouts.
All
Yeah.
my friends.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
like, well, I love this beer, and I'm like,
Oh, so you talk about girl on girl crime?
oh yeah. I mean,
That's
guys
the
are
worst
pretty-
type of violence.
That probably is the
I
worst.
can't even talk. My boyfriend he drinks Keystone, so he's
Oh,
like,
no.
he's not
So he
on
can't
the
talk.
level- Yeah, no. Every
Oh,
time I bring
no.
to a brewery, he's like, oh, it's either
like-
drinkable or not, and I'm like, well,
There's no in
it's-
between.
I'm sorry, sweetie. Like
How
there's
about they got
definitely
They have a pills on tap?
they
Give me all the
have
pills.
something similar to like a Heineken. No, that's like my worst beer.
Nothing in a
but-
green bottle that's skunky. No, sorry. fresh out. Just ran out. Tell us a little bit about the brewery. Where's it located? Kind of operating hours, social media connections. How can people find it? How can people go and visit? Do you have any tasting room hours or anything like that? Offhand?
Egg Harbor Township
Okay.
is where they're located. So honestly, it's like, 10, 15 minutes away from here. They're very local.
it's 15 minutes away from here. for sure.
Their hours did recently change.
Everybody's
Yeah.
the same.
Everybody's
Well, they're
summer
only-
hours.
I don't know what our hours
well,
are anymore.
now, honestly, when
They're
you
only
think about
closed
it,
on
yeah.
Mondays. I found this out
Okay.
last night. They're only closed on Mondays.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it's honestly
Like
I will
restaurant
always-
hours.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know what the coolest thing about Hidden Sands? It's made from well water.
Really?
So yes, so you're drinking pretty much like
Water
dinosaur
profiles
water.
all day. Yeah.
Dinosaur
Yes.
water.
Dinosaur water. Hey, that's what they say. It's
I think they
actually-
needed to have a beer. Dinosaur
I'm like,
water.
I work for a doctor, so I'm very interested in like the scientific aspect. And like, well water is very crisp, clean. It's probably the best. I will always say it's 100% like my favorite brewery. I'm not just saying it because I'm working there today and yesterday. I always will say that I love breweries, but Hidden Sands, it's so crisp and clean. You can actually get their water crowled. Like
Really?
it's so crisp and such
Huh.
good water.
Interesting.
That's what I
Yeah.
think that sets them apart.
I
And
came
The
here for the
one
beer, but I'm
beer-
leaving with the water.
that's why I think their sours are better because like sours
Ah.
are already crisp, but
Okay.
like then you get that crisp, fresh water, and it's just like
Yeah, there's definitely something to the pH and all the
Yeah.
chemical
Yeah.
compound
Yep.
of hard versus
Definitely.
soft water, stuff like that.
The one
chemically
beer
treated.
that we have over there is the 108 IPA, and it's because the water is 108 feet down that they get
Ah,
it from. Yeah,
okay.
so it's
very
so
cool.
good.
Now, was that existing when they moved in there, or they had to get that drilled? How did they get
I
to
think
that?
that's been existing.
Existing,
since
yeah,
they-
before
Wow.
they.
That's pretty cool.
That's what I think sets them apart, and and I literally like verified it with like the brewers yesterday. Like I used to be a big fan, so I knew that from the past, and I just like verified. I was like, hey, is it true that it's from well water? They're like, yeah, and I was like, that's what makes like this beer like
It's
so
so
much
good.
better.
Big fan.
for
Is
me
that a
than-
real tattoo of Hidden Sands?
No,
Yeah,
it
we got
looks
the-
like
It does look pretty good, but the detail is way too.
I'm really
your
good at-
artist is the balls if they got the thin line on hidden perfect.
It looks really
It
good,
does,
but I
blends
put it
in.
on this morning, and then I added some oil to make it look like
There
a
you
real
go.
tattoo.
Nice.
It ain't my
Knows
first
the
rodeo, my
tricks.
guy.
Knows the tricks.
Put some bio oil. It's a little expensive, but it's totally worth
Wow.
it.
Well, it's
I
worth,
totally
especially in
had-
the sun
I had
today.
you fooled.
You're gonna need to have all the protection on those so they don't fade.
Yeah.
You know what we need to talk about?
Oh.
Those pretzel necklaces last night. I know we all saw
There
them,
were
Right.
and we need to talk about it.
So-
So no one has them on today. So was it a Friday night thing that only?
Oh, I
No,
don't know.
it's like a
Well,
beer thing.
I'm just digging
But-
this
We
dude
have
right
plenty of
here.
pretzels.
That- Oh.
The Vans guy.
All Vans, all
You have
out.
guy that wears beer necklaces and then Vans all over his body. Like it's
So I
nobody's
brought
business.
these with the intention of making necklaces.
Oh my
As a
God.
patron of Beerfest for a long time, I used
That's
to
what
make
you're
them all the time.
supposed to do.
Yep.
It's
Oh,
literally-
so it is like a
it's a
tradition,
thing. Yep.
right?
You're
Years
supposed
ago,
to.
it was the cool thing. I
Yeah.
think more and more now,
It's
not as cool.
becoming like not a thing
Not as
anymore.
There
cool.
was a girl with bagels.
Yeah,
On
I've
a
seen those.
necklace last
People go.
night.
Bagels.
People
Bagels,
go
like
OP
mini
on it.
bagels. Oh wow!
Bagels.
Now we're gonna talk about
North Jersey versus South Jersey.
Well, it could be
right
bagels.
now.
Bagel
Let's go.
pretzels.
bagels.
All right, but Taylor ham or pork roll?
Oh,
Pork roll.
pork roll.
All right.
Atta
See, these are my girls here.
You're not as North Jersey as
Taylor
I
ham.
thought.
I still like you.
Got lucky.
We can still be friends.
And yeah.
I don't want to keep you from drinking. Give us the big plug. Where can people find Hidden Sands online to get in touch, find out where the operating hours are, and all the beers that are going to be out on tap?
You can definitely find us on Instagram, Hidden Sands Brewery Company.
Yes.
We're on Facebook as well. And if you have any questions, they're really good at responding on Instagram. So if you have any other questions, feel free to reach out for sure.
Yes.
Awesome.
Matt is the guy over
Yeah,
there.
he is one of the owners, and he is the
he's
coolest
the
dude.
best. Yes.
Is he here today?
He is here
Yes.
today.
All right, we'll
he is
stop
over
by and
there.
say hello and hang
Very
out a
good.
little bit.
We've been gone for so long, so
Yeah.
we're not even sure if he's
I
still
was
here.
it's just starting to go in my head like, you probably think, where'd they end up?
Watermelon sour.
We'll be
Watermelon
there.
We're
sour.
gonna
is
finish
West
it with
Coast
the
IPA.
watermelon sour.
Kim, Katie, thank you very much
Thanks
for hanging
for
out.
coming on.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you
Yes.
so much. This is so fun.
This is the Word with Mike, Pete, and Steve, GubsRadio.com, live here at AC Beerfest, live on Bader Field. Beautiful Saturday morning. We're going to get to drinking, and we'll be back right after this.
Govs Radio. This is the Wort on Govs Radio.
Hey, this is the Word with Mike, Pete, and Steve, GubsRadio.com. We got Mark from Bolero Snort here with us at
Yeah.
AC Beerfest, Session 2. Beautiful day, gentlemen. Beautiful day out there. Beautiful day at Shea. Dodgers 5, Mets 5 at the end of 5.
Yeah.
I mean, so far, they just let in the general admission a few minutes ago. That started about 20 minutes ago. And it still doesn't feel like it's packed out. They did a great
No.
job.
They really space things out.
You
really
have a
well.
line at your tent,
Oh.
as you probably well know.
Yep.
Bolero Snort, very well-known brand recognition now.
Well, thank you.
Tell us a little bit about the brewery. We talked to Scott 2 years ago.
Yeah, definitely.
know you opened a brand new taste room. Want to talk about that? So give us the big lowdown.
So for after 7 years of gypsy brewing, brewing in other people's facilities, it felt really good to finally, in December of 2019, be able to finally open our own brand new facility.
Perfect time to do it.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, it's
Couldn't
not like
pick a better time.
it's not like something major was going to happen
Right?
4 months later that kept us from basically being able to operate the tasting room that we had been yearning for years. But in the grand scheme of things, we were finally able to open up that full 16,000 square foot. It's a massive facility.
It
If you
is
haven't gotten a
huge.
chance to make it up there, I'd highly recommend you just
So
to be able to
our-
see the grand scale of everything that's
Our
going
friends
on there.
from In Hops We Trust, Ruth and
Oh, yeah.
and the guys. I'm so bad with names, so sorry guys. They were like, you got to check this out, and then we got a
Oh, yeah,
message from Scott, and he's like, come down, come down
definitely.
and do a show. I'm like, it was a tough weekend, kind of last minute.
Yeah.
And I was kind of annoyed, but I think I had somewhere to go.
I mean, we were happy, proud, and honored to be able to be featured as the very first episode that they did. So
Yes.
we were really excited when we were able to finally see the full cuts. They were doing great work
Yep.
as far as not just highlighting us, but highlighting the liquid, highlighting just the beer industry in general.
Yeah.
So they were doing a fantastic job. And like I said, to be able to be highlighted as one of the, I guess, the premier breweries. And I don't mean to toot my own horn. I never like doing that. But to be at least thought in that regard, to be able to be that first episode for them was absolutely huge to us. So we were really excited.
And they did a great job, man.
Oh, yeah.
Their production work is spot on. The interview skills, spot on. They came to Long Island and did Hopscotch Bottle Shop. Our buddy Mark from Hopscotch, and we kind of were there that day and
Excellent.
jumped on for a few minutes. Actually, it was just you and I, right?
Yes.
And talked to them. The stuff they're doing, and now they have a new studio as well.
Oh, wow. That's
brand
awesome.
new studio. I think it's in Hoboken or Hackett. No,
Nice.
it's Hoboken, probably.
I feel like everything's in Hoboken.
Yeah, right.
You head into
Where
that
is it?
general
Hoboken.
area.
Yeah.
Hoboken
It's a
is.
small city, but a large square million mile area.
Thousands of people packed into
Yes.
4 blocks of no parking.
Yes. Sounds about right. Sounds like Long Island a little bit, if you think about it. So yeah, you guys set up your taste room. December you opened. You had a few months at least.
Yeah, we had the handful of months, and it was we were rocking and rolling right out of the gate. So it was fantastic. The support of the fan base that we built over those 7 years really came out and showed us some love during those first 4 months. And you know what? To be honest, they showed us love throughout this entire pandemic. Like the fact that we were not only able to survive, but we were actually able to grow too. We actually, since opening up the building, like I said, December, so brand new building, we've actually added 4 new tanks.
Oh, wow.
So we've actually expanded our production size in the midst of this giant
and imagine
pandemic
what,
and
you know,
regression.
with no restrictions coming up, imagine, you know.
Oh, exactly. And it's a matter of feeling out. We want to make sure that everyone's feeling comfortable when they're walking through our doors. So, I mean, we're still taking everything very seriously. We want to make sure everyone's feeling safe when they come in. Because it's an extension of, like, we want it to be an extension of our house, basically.
Yeah, sure. Early on in the pandemic, you know, I had, you know, things were still really sketchy, and I was telling my wife, you know, I was going to go out and get some beer and, you know, hit up a couple of breweries, and she was, you know, you know, you sure that's a good idea? And I'm like, sanitation is such an important, you know,
probably the safest place.
Yeah, they're definitely cleaner than the grocery store.
That's what I was 100% telling people as everything was going on. You don't need to worry about the product coming out. We worry above and beyond what the normal standards would be for sanitation.
A silly little cold will spoil the beer.
It's unbelievable how easy it could simply be to twist that. And we were able to, fortunately, be able to forge through. We didn't have any cases, fortunately, pop up. We were fortunate to keep with the entirety of our staff on hand. So throughout,
even better.
We wanted to make sure that it was a very important part to us to take care of our people as everything was going off. We wanted to make sure that everyone knew where they stood in the midst of employment, and like I said, through the support of everybody out there in the community and the beer community in general, we were able to.
You kept everyone on?
Every single person.
That's awesome.
Not a single person got cut.
See, right there, that's
great.
You're trying to pivot everyone's roles, just making sure everyone has something to do.
It was a matter of just making sure, and we've been flexible. That was one of the nice things about Gypsy Brewing for as long as we did, is we learned how to survive in the random situations that pop up. We're used to not being in control of our own destinies. Like, the brewery that we're brewing at just so happens to have a weird scheduling snafu and can't get things kegged. We now need to figure out the entirety of our production lineup, how that shifts and rotates. So we've been so used to thinking on our feet for 7 years that when this came about, it was hey, it's a brand new challenge, but we're going to go at it head first. And like I said, we think about our customers, we think about our employees, and we want to make sure that everyone's taken care of.
And you guys did a slight modification on the branding, correct?
Yeah, so...
was that right before you opened?
It was just before. Yeah. So we wanted to do kind of a little bit more of a, for lack of a better term, grown-up look.
Yeah, okay.
So, I mean, for so long, it was that distinct BS brand. And we just wanted that, something that was a little bit crisper, cleaner for opening this brand new, crisp, clean facility.
The lines were cleaner. If you're a tattoo artist, you'd go, that's a clean lines.
You take a look through, it's that distinct, and we now have swapped, if you haven't seen the logo recently, we've swapped the BS, that we have the horns coming off of the B and the S on the side with the circle around it. And it's been really well received, but we've been really excited about how well that is. And like I said, we think that as far as a brand identity, it's just such a great...
And all the merch you guys are rocking is fucking great. The Jurassic Park shirt is fucking great.
It's a classic one. That one, when I saw it the first time, I was just telling you guys before, I went, a little bit of trademark issues, and then no, I mean you don't have to.
Welcome to brewing in 2020.
It's that sweet parody law.
Yes, correct. I love the copyright laws.
So close, but yet so far.
You can use the font. That's not copyrighted. It's not the same bones.
Nope,
it's
not
not technically the same PMS colors when you do your print.
I mean, we use all of our own colors.
Right. That's my makeup.
Of course, everybody.
I know, right?
Great idea. What are you guys pouring this weekend? Because we grabbed the orange
OBB, excellent. Always a classic. That's one of our go-tos that we've had year-round. So we actually were highlighting specifically 3 of our flagships that are around year-round. So our Meadowlands Lager, so a light, delicately dry hop lager. That's one that we brought up and we started developing when we were finally in the new facility in the Meadowlands, kind of as that nice commemoration to come through. But it's a super easy drinking, nicely dry hopped lager. We've got Crushable, which is our session hazy IPA.
Oh, nice.
So it's nice.
4%, 5%.
4.4.
Yeah.
So nice, super easy drinking. Those citrus notes that you're going to expect from a hazy IPA, we just dialed back down the alcohol content on it a little bit. This way, those people that love those haze bombs can enjoy it all day long.
Instead of
have 7 of
2 of them.
Exactly. Instead of worrying about that ABV just kicking through the roof, but you're still getting that mouthfeel, that flavor. OVB, like I said, being one of the flagships that we've rested our laurels on.
Orange creamsicle.
Yep. The nice, orange cream pop.
Right. I can't say that.
Going back. But we want to
walk it back.
Exactly. It's okay. We'll fix it in post.
I'm going to walk that. It's too much editing. Cream pop.
Yes. cream pop. We always have to make sure to be very careful as far as that. But like I said, that's one of those ones that it's always been around, but since we've opened the new facility, we've been able to actually tinker things through and make sure that it's coming out exactly the way we want it to each and every time. And the batches that we've been coming out of the new building have been head and shoulders above everything we were producing before, and it was an award-winning beer before. So that's something that we could say to our wonderful brew team. On top of that, we're also featuring our 3 more stable summer staples.
You're doing time releases on these, right?
So, we're doing timed release on one specialty one.
Okay.
But we've got also, in addition to that, we've got our Wave Grazer, which is new for this year, which is a tangerine lime sour. Really nice session sour. Again, that comes in at 4.5. Super easy drinking on a day like today. Mojito, which was brand new as of last year. So that's a mojito-inspired lager. So mint and lime in a lager. Crisp, clean, refreshing. We had the folks from the Hops Trot in earlier. That's what I was steering them towards, because I'm like, honestly, you just ran a 5K. This is super light and refreshing.
They're dripping sweat, and they're like, I need
it's like,
something.
I promise you, this
Please
is what's
give me a
gonna
barrel-aged stout.
Everyone needs 15%. We are also doing Pina Bollada, which is one of our, for years we've been producing that one.
I've seen that one, yeah.
But that's a Pina Colada inspired wheat, so coconut, lime, pineapple. Absolutely delicious. One of my go-tos every summer. Sour Pasture Calves we're pouring this year, which is...
I love that name.
Oh, yeah. Which is a blackberry, blueberry, and lemon sour. That's a beer that we actually have available year-round, but we rotate those fruits through to be a little bit more seasonality. So we do try to... We've done cranberry. We've done a whole bunch of different fruit combinations.
You guys doing Kettle Sours, or...?
Those are Kettle Sours. We're a full clean facility over at the new building, so all the sours that we're going to be putting out are going to be Kettle Sours. And then as a specialty for AC Beer and Music Festival, we're doing, of course, our traditional screwing around with beer that we're wont to do, Run to the Herd, which is a kettle sour conditioned on a metric ton of Runts candy.
A full metric ton?
Not a full metric. It's about 10 pounds, actually.
It's still a lot of goddamn Runts.
That's still a lot of Runts.
Holy shit. I saw the sign now. I see people looking,
oh yeah.
And the posts that came out prior to the festival.
Oh yeah, I mean, last night for the first session, like, we tap it about an hour and a half into the session, and we had a lineup of about 50 people or so for pours of that.
Yeah.
And we kicked the keg in about 20 minutes.
Wow.
God. Everyone online gets one.
Yeah.
It's 2 and just get back on
I was
the
running
end.
through. I mean, I filled up 2 pitchers, and I'm like, line breaker, and just pop, 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 pop.
The other one you guys are well known for, the I can't say the full word, but the Pebbles.
Juicy Pebbles.
All right, so I can't say the one with the F.
Yeah, well, it's no longer that word. We did a full brand shift on that when we opened the new building, so it is now Juicy Pebbles.
Was it called Fruity Pebbles?
It was called Fruity Pebbles.
It was.
So we did that for a while, and we never got into any trouble for it.
Right.
But
when you open a brand new facility, before you get into trouble.
You're opening a brand new facility. We know we're increasing the production that we're able to do.
Yeah.
So,
and the visibility.
Yeah, and it's like, you know what? In reality, we get it. We get the name. Like, the inspiration is clearly there on the can art, on the flavors and everything. So you know what? We wanted to go back and come up with a brand that was a little bit more original. Original, because in reality, like, we've done a number of, like, the Bolero Parks, the Steer Wars, things like that. But as we've been going through and steering through some of these things recently, we've kind of drifted away from a little bit of those intellectual property question marks, I guess you would say. And we're still trying to make sure that the beer that's coming out is good. And we've been kind of leaning more towards the inspiration from some of those. So, for example, this past winter, right around Christmas time, we released a heavily fruited smoothie-style sour called Melakaliki Macau. And you take a look at that and, okay, cool. Well, you take a look at the label, though, and it's a bull version of Clark Griswold staring out of the Melakaliki Macau. And so it's not the direct nod to Christmas Vacation. Like, we're not calling it Christmas Steercation or anything like that.
That would have been a great name.
I mean, it would have. Trust me, I assure you that just from
that name, I'm sure that came up in a meeting.
From the sheer quantity of pages upon pages upon pages of bull puns, about half of them are direct movie and TV and music ripoffs.
What's the worst one you had to say, like, that had to get to the kibosh?
It was like Night Court with Bull.
No, with Bull. That would take a little bit of thought. Yeah, I mean, we've had a couple really sketchy ones that around the.
that's a stumper. Sorry.
So
it's okay.
Well, he's going back to the things we threw out, like weeks and weeks and years.
That's the problem. It's been
they never really made it. Cutting room
It's
floor.
one of the once it gets kind of cut, I toss it out of the mind because at that point I will just recommend it about 4 more times. And I promise Scott and Bob don't want to hear that on a regular basis. So
we heard that one already, Mark. God damn it.
Yeah.
You guys pouring a lot, have a lot of people coming through.
Oh yeah.
How's the taste room? How's the COVID restrictions going at the brewery?
Right now, along with the rest of New Jersey, we've kind of lifted a lot of the restrictions. So we're not keeping everything as taught. You're able to move around from table to table. We are open up back in the tasting room again, which for a long stretch of time we were exclusively in the beer garden.
Yeah.
And we set up some area on the production floor itself, actually, because we were able to get a little bit more tables with the social distancing.
Do you have like a garage door that opens into that area, so it's big? It almost felt like you're outside.
Exactly. It was a complete continuation of the two spaces.
Very cool.
So we were able to do that. We have fully opened the tasting room again now.
Nice.
So we are doing service in there. We actually still intentionally tried to keep and space out the tables in at least a reasonable amount. Not necessarily to force social distancing, but
just help. Every little bit helps.
To at least give people the mindset and the sense of safety that you're not directly on top of people. Like I've been to restaurants recently where,
and I'm sure for some people, just a year and a half, you haven't been able to do that. It feels a little weird.
It does. It's off-putting when you finally get into an environment. You're like
just like this, being at a festival and seeing this many people and no masks. And
I remember standing next to Scott. It was last Friday that we found that all those restrictions and everything lifted up, and the two of us were looking out into the tasting room, and we were just kind of like, this just feels odd. Like it's not anxiety, but like there's some like a buildup that's had from a full year and a half of this being the new norm. That something just felt off, but normal at the same time. It was the weirdest kind of.
It's going to take a while to get back to that. I mean, it will, but people got to get revved back up, just like they were revved down.
And these are the steps to normal. Like finally being able to have an event like this. I mean, the first festival that we poured out was 3 weeks ago. The Bacon Beer and Barbecue Festival.
We heard about that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a wonderful festival. I mean, they took everything incredibly careful, like in the same way as all the tents here are separated out and spaced apart. We were there as well. And like I said, everyone's taking care and still trying to be incredibly careful, but taking care of everything.
So, well, he's dying now, and
I choked on my own spit.
Well, that happens.
I mean, we've all been there.
I took an inhale to say some words, and it did not go down the right pipe.
Well,
it's Beerfest. That's what
that's right.
So what do you guys have coming out? What's the new stuff that's coming out in the tasting room? What's in the tanks? What can people look forward to?
So we have a ton of. We are actually doing a fairly large replenishment. Like I said, we want to make sure that Pina Bollada and Mojito are out year-round. We've just about every other week now been coming out with new flavor combinations of various fruited sours.
Right.
So different flavor combinations as far as those go. Returns of old favorites as far as I think we're probably targeting our Cthulhu Argoza that comes through usually once a year.
Okay.
We're also doing a fairly large rollout that we're in the process of packaging right now, at least. We're launching a seltzer brand. We did it.
Okay.
There we go.
It's coming.
I feel like it's coming through everything. But like the one of the nice things that I feel is it kind of came organically from the passion project of one of our brewers.
Okay.
She enjoyed drinking the hard seltzers, and there wasn't really one that really rang out to her in New Jersey or in kind of the craft community in general.
Yeah.
And we want to be able to produce a product that hit all those same marks as a White Claw, as a Truly. So that nice, crisp, clean, clear that you take a look at it rather than some of the hazy ones or any of the heavily fruited. So it's a full, clear.
They're a hazy seltzers now.
Yeah, basically. I mean, it's more like the smoothie style.
It's
more so the smoothie style. So you'll see.
I was gonna say this looks like a Fresca.
You'll see really like those thick, multicolored. Like the joke I always used to pull is the difference between our seltzers and others is clear. Right. Literally,
that's the tagline on the cans, as we know.
So that's actually it's called Broad Street Spiked Seltzer.
Okay.
We're located right on Broad Street in Carlstadt, so and the BS combination between the two, we kind of had to make the pull the trigger on that. But we're doing that in 4 different flavors, so we're excited about the rollout on that.
What are the flavors?
So we've got, because we're Bolero and we had to, the orange creamsicle.
Yeah,
so the orange vanilla is one of the flavors. We've got a blackberry cucumber.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
That's
that
cool.
one's my absolute favorite.
Different.
We have a pink guava. And the other one, which is exclusive to the variety packs and at the brewery, is, of course, Bolero-fying things, cotton candy, because why not?
Sure. If you're going that route, you might as well just explore all
We're
of
gonna
the
turn
flavors.
we're going to turn hard into that skid, and we're going to be like, look, we are what we are. We know what we
way to put it.
We know what we are. Most people know what we are, and you know what? It's a flavor that Lord knows you're not going to see in most spiked seltzer, so it kind of sets us apart a little bit on that.
What do you guys have coming up for the tasting room? You back to doing like trivia nights and events and things like that?
So we're slowly easing into that. We actually have a large event coming up. We partnered with we're part of the Zane Lamprey tour.
Yes, you are.
So we are very excited to have Zane.
A few episodes ago.
Oh yeah,
we had him on.
We are
2
very
episodes,
excited to have Zane coming in and doing a performance here at
Are you doing
Bolero
the
Snort.
collab beer with him, or?
I think right now we're just doing the brew or the show. I mean, I'm more than happy to collab with.
He
with
will.
Zane.
He would.
I naturally assume that he's probably.
There, right.
I naturally assume he's going to show up on that day and just start throwing things into our mash tun anyway. So there's the distinct possibility that that'll happen, but who knows?
Yes, it is.
As of right now, nothing's planned.
Yeah, because he was. I think he was shopping around. Was it a session IPA that he wanted a recipe there? So you might see that come across in an email when it gets closer.
I will gladly be able to entertain any.
Yes.
We certainly do session IPAs and
yeah.
Are the tickets on sale for that? When's the date?
Tickets are on sale. It's in mid-October. I can't remember the exact one offhand, but
it's after
it is
the Blue Point one.
Got it.
Yeah, it's early to mid-October. I know it's the beginning of October though.
Yeah, he's a lot of fun. I've been tracking his career for quite some time, and we actually had a local guy, Jeff from Pecana County Brewing, on that day. We were just talking to him last night. He was here. We didn't get him on the air, but he was upset because Zane's life should have been Jeff's life. It was his role to have, and he did not have it. And Zane probably deserves it. He's a hustler, so he does a lot of stuff. Very funny guy, and check him out. So go to zanelamprey.com, I think it is, and you'll find the tickets.
Throw it
for
in
that.
the Google machine.
Just search Zane Lamprey Bolero Snort.
You know what? If you're in New York City and you're hearing us, you're probably better off going to Bolero than coming all the way out east to.
There's
to
actually
Point.
probably a good chance of that. I mean, we've got a bus stop basically right outside the building. If it happens to be running, we're 2 minutes outside of MetLife Stadium.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
And anyone who ends up coming up for a Jets or a Giants game or any of the events over there, I kid you not, beforehand, afterhand, we'll be there. We got
Someone will be
there.
there.
Hey, the good news is show up early. I know we've discussed things, but we want to make sure that you can stop by, get some beer for your tailgate before heading over and enjoy it.
Did you do you doing like an open table reservation still, or
No, so we actually at no point in time did reservations throughout
Nice.
all of this. Yeah.
Okay.
So we were always first come, first serve, but that was mostly because we were fortunate enough we had one of the biggest beer gardens in the state.
Yeah, the space.
So we had the space, and really there was only 5 or 6 times that we really hit a wait list on that. And we kept a wait list where we'd take down your phone number and things like that, and we'd give you a call when it came through. We'd recommend you check out some of the local restaurants.
Perfect. Mark, really appreciate you coming
Thanks
by.
for having me.
Thank you so
I think
much
your
for
line
having
is
me.
probably building up, and they're going to need you. I could kind of see the crowd right through here going up.
I mean, there's a good possibility.
It is a great possibility. Mark from Bolero Snort, give us the last big plug where people can find you, how people can get in touch with you.
Yeah, so certainly you could reach out at www.bolerosnort.com. Check us out on all the social medias. Feel free to check out our Broad Street Spiked Seltzer as well. That's, again, on all the social medias. And come by the brewery and tasting room at 316 20th Street in Carlstadt, New Jersey, right next to MetLife Stadium in the Meadowlands. And we'd be happy to see you and have you come in and have a pint.
Awesome. Thanks, Mark.
Awesome. Thanks, Mark. Thank you.
Appreciate it. It's The Wort with Mike, Pete, and Steve, GovsRadio.com. We'll be back right after this.
Govs Radio. This is The Wort on Govs Radio.
All right, this is The Wort with Mike, Pete, and Steve, GovsRadio.com, live here at AC Beerfest on Bader Field. Enjoying some beautiful weather, people playing Brew Bag. Thank you, Brew Bag, for giving us a little
that is really getting
entertainment
some use
here.
today.
Hell yeah, it's getting worked out.
Yeah.
It's what we want to see. And here we have Jason from Jughandle, head brewer over Jughandle. Thank you a lot for coming on, skating through and saying what's up.
I had no worries. I saw you guys and I was like, oh, this looks like a cool place to hang out and like talk to some people. I'm down with this.
And literally cool because we're in the shade and everyone comes in and is like, can we sit in the shade for a few minutes? Like, yeah, guy, we got plenty of room just to hang out, and then they travel on.
I'm not gonna be honest, you guys look bored.
No,
we were relaxing.
Well, we got banged up yesterday because we went hard, a little quick.
Dude,
but
that was the problem with yesterday, like with all the rain that was happening, and then it cleared up, and then everybody started going after it.
Gotta go.
I mean, me, the owner, and our bartender, we didn't even get to bed until like 3 o'clock. We were just slamming back beers once we got back to the Airbnb. It was bad.
Is your Airbnb in Cracktown like ours is?
Yeah, how sketchy is yours on a level from 1 to,
So the neighborhood is
90s Manhattan.
So if it was like 1 to 10, 10 being like really nice, and then 1 being like, I'm in Baltimore.
Okay, yeah, that's about where we are. We're about a 1 or a 2.
We're like a 2.
I would probably say we're running like a 4 or 5 right now.
All right.
Okay.
It's an upgrade.
The neighborhood is like that.
Did you sleep with a knife? Because I did.
I actually did sleep with a
All
knife.
right. Well,
All right. So then, yeah.
then you were 2. I'm sorry.
He makes a good point.
No, it's a knife and a flashlight.
Yeah. right on the table.
Yeah, right
like
the
Knife light.
Knife light. Well, thanks a lot for joining us, Jay.
Hey, no worries. Thank you.
So we were just talking right before the show. I want to get right into the difference between 2019's indoor convention and what you guys are experiencing right now. What is it? What's the difference here? Besides being outside, how do you feel the vibe
outside
is
here? Great. So this is interesting. I was not here for the 2019 festival.
Yeah.
I moved to the East Coast about 2 years ago.
Oh, wow.
From Oregon.
Oh, okay.
So I spent most of my life brewing out in Seattle, Portland, and San Diego. Moved out to moved to Baltimore for 6 months, then found my way to Jersey, and through a few different breweries. Ended up with Jughandle, awesome. I really like. There's 2 things.
Yeah.
So I like the fact that it's so open. I think they did a great job. Whether it's COVID or not COVID, I think this is actually the setup they should do anyways. Sure. The one thing I wish they did was kept it more as like an enclosed circle instead of having these weird offshoots.
Yeah.
Because I had a few people I was talking to, or a few of the vendors were saying, like, it feels like a prison.
Yeah.
Because you have this main circle, and then you have the entrance, and you have this offshoot, and another offshoot, and another offshoot, and it's really difficult to figure out
someone's in the shoe.
Someone's in the shoe.
You're right. It has that like a high school hallway feel, right?
Yeah, it really does. Whereas I was expecting more of like a complete loop, 1 mile all the way around, where like you just walk straight in a circle and you just see everything.
4 hours, you can hit everything.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's true because we're stuck out on like the little tiny heel.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have some really good breweries like right here, which is cool for us. But we really haven't traveled all that
Steve
far.
and I were walking, this morning. We're dropping the car off and looking at a dozen or more breweries.
We didn't even know we're here.
Yeah.
Did you get to meet Kelsey Grammer yet?
Dude, I heard he was here.
Yeah.
There was. My bartender was like, "Dude, Kelsey Grammer's here." I'm like, "Wait, what? Where?"
He's shaking hands over by Faith American by the.
No, because he's right by us then.
Yeah, the finish
Crap,
line.
why am I talking to you guys right now? I gotta go. See ya.
I mean, I could do his Norm. I could just pretend I'm Norm.
Going from West Coast to East Coast, we got to talk about IPAs.
Sure.
I mean, so what? The transition west. Those piney, resiny beer. Clear, clean beers. To Haze Boys.
Yeah.
What thoughts?
Oh man, how many brewers am I going to insult right now?
Well, I mean, hopefully as many as you can. And to be fair, like I don't. The West Coast style is not my thing.
No, it's not everybody's thing. And I think that's where like the New England IPAs really fit a good niche.
Yep.
Because not everybody wants a bitter, resiny, piney IPA. Some people want juicy. I totally get that. When New England's first stepped into the West Coast scene, that was about 4 years ago for me as a brewer, we were really confused because, I'm dead serious, we were super confused because we had been trained for so many years that a good quality beer has like, you control the turbidity, you figure out like how clear you want it to be, you add kettle hops for stabilization, good bitterness, that kind of stuff. And then this haze train comes along, and we're like, dude, it's hazy. Can you not clarify your beer? Are you that damn lazy? However, once the West Coast kind of figured out, or at least in my opinion, once the West Coast figured out that this was just another notch in the belt for their
another customer.
Another customer they could utilize, they took it off. I mean, I think I was talking to a few brewers here just a few minutes ago. The 2019 GABF, or was it 2019 or 2018, where the hazy beers first had a category themselves, West Coast breweries swept.
Wow.
It wasn't the East Coast breweries, the West Coast breweries swept.
What a kick in the dick if you're if you're treehouse.
But so now it's really interesting because this haze train's been going on for a while. The West Coast has definitely jumped into it. But now here on the East Coast, we're seeing, or at least I'm seeing, West Coast IPAs, West Coast Pale Ales starting to make a comeback. Hops like CTZ, Simcoe, Cascade, Centennial are making a comeback out here. I'm not sure if they were ever out here in a large
the New
form.
Zealand kind of figured it, but it depends. I
see a lot of stuff with Simcoe, Chinook.
Yeah, the Noble Hop stuff was always, and that's coming like Centennial. I see Amarillo back in the stuff a lot now.
I love
combining
Amarillo.
with Citra, combining with Mosaic and
Galaxy.
But like in a blend, if done right, it actually kind of balances out that bitterness with the sweetness. So.
Yeah, so I think it's really so I'm glad to see West Coast beers coming back out. I will admit, from a personal standpoint, I don't think a lot of the West Coast IPAs brewed by East Coast brewers are traditional. Nothing bad about that.
You're kidding.
I see a lot of use of like the wheat and oats that a lot of breweries are familiar with using and used to.
Yep.
And so the idea of using, like, as a West Coast brewer myself, I like to focus more on my pale malts, my specialty malts, usually a biscuit or a victory malt with a touch of Munich, and then Vienna to balance everything out, and then work those kettle hops in. It's still something I feel like this part of the country has not quite worked into, whereas the West Coast has been around for so long doing West Coast IPAs.
Sure.
It's pretty much established this is how you make one.
Gotcha.
Which, not a bad thing, because back in probably like 2015, 2016, specifically in Oregon, we had like a wheat IPA craze. It only lasted about a year or two. People were throwing a bunch of wheat into their IPAs, trying to make it hazy, trying to give it a little more bodied.
Flaked wheat.
Yes.
Lots of flaked
wheat. It wasn't a style that really kicked off, but I think that was kind of like, for the West Coast breweries, that was our entrance into the New Englands, and that's why we understood where it was going and what the intention was. We just didn't understand using oats to balance out the portfolio and make it softer.
Yeah, that pillowy mouthfeel you got from the flaked oats. Sure.
Yeah. And obviously we were still throwing a bunch of hops in the kettle, whereas New England's, it's Whirlpool and dry hop.
Yeah.
Right.
So we kind of saw it coming, but we didn't understand it.
Got it.
Whereas, and I think the East Coast, they see the West Coast coming back in. They don't quite understand it, but that's not a bad thing. I think they're learning, and I'm seeing like Grimm Brewing out in New York.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Holy crap, they can make a West Coast IPA. Like, dang good. Shout out to Grimm.
Now, let me ask you, how did you feel that one time you took a can and it said 0 IBUs on it, and you're like, this is an IPA?
I was confused.
Yeah. Like, wait, what? Wait, I've learned my whole life that...
Perplexed the noise is.
Wait, no IBUs? Wait, it's IPA. Wait a minute.
It's one of those things where, as a brewer, we have to... So we have the science behind the brewing. We understand what IBUs are, and we understand that the layman and the general customer does not get that.
Right.
And so it really comes down to like training people on what we're talking about. Because as a brewer, I look at IBUs and I say, this is the amount of alpha acids I have in my beer.
Right.
But that doesn't necessarily mean the amount of bitterness I have in my beer.
Yep.
And then I know this is something that I've been working on my entire life as a brewer, is teaching people that IBUs is really subjective. It's more about, the flavor, the body, the color, the look, the aromatics, and less about these straight IBUs. Because you can have a 100 IBU beer that doesn't taste bitter.
Exactly.
So it's a weird thing, and I feel and the industry needs to be better at training our customers about understanding this kind of stuff.
That was a big thing too, that little craze of, well, no, we got 120 IBUs in you. Okay, you do. Sure you do.
Well, it's Lagunitas Hop Stupid, Green Flash Power Wrecker.
Yep.
Were the guys that started
Those are the
up.
labels that scared me off.
Really?
Oh, because that, as 5-6 years ago, less an issue, dumber palate, I saw something, over like 50 or 60 IBUs. I'm like, I'm not going to like that. I don't,
Yeah.
Those bitterness, those really bitter West Coast IPAs, I just still can't do it. I don't know.
Oh, you should swing by the tent.
I'll try it.
I've got a West Coast IPA. It's fucking delicious.
We're gonna
I'm
have
sorry,
to, bro.
Am I allowed to swear on this?
Oh, yes.
Fuck yeah, you are.
Fuck you can, brother.
fucking day.
And if you
Speaking
don't,
of what do you got going on in the end? What are you pouring? So you got a West Coast IPA.
So we got a West Coast IPA, Time and Space. I took that recipe after years of brewing West Coast IPAs, and I tried to make it. I try to adjust it to more of like an East Coast mentality.
Okay.
So it's
different grain bill.
Same grain bill as I would normally do on the West Coast. I dropped the IBUs down to about 56 IBUs, whereas normally I would want to be in like the 65 range to have like a good classic West Coast. It's still clear as day, really nice. Bunch of kettle hops, usually focusing a lot on Mosaic and Centennial.
Okay.
I'm using Polaris as a bittering hop. Mosaic, Citra, and Whirlpool, and then we use Cashmere, Cascade, Amarillo, and Mosaic as dry hop.
Wow.
So I wanted to get a balance between the juice characteristic that the East Coast really loves,
Sure.
the hoppy characteristic that I was raised on as a son of a home brewer in the Seattle beer scene.
You son of a home brewer.
And approachable for a lot more people.
Okay.
Because you're right. A true West Coast IPA like Green Flash is not approachable to a lot of people.
Yeah, I can't.
And I talked to my sales guy, Doug Edwards, a lot about this. Like, how do we want to develop this beer? What is the point of this beer? And he said, I want a beer that I can walk into a bar and I don't have to compete against Cane Head High. I don't have to compete against Cape May. I don't have to compete against Carton 0777XX or Boat. I want something that's not in the market. Okay, West Coast IPA, but let's make it for an East Coast sensibility. And that's exactly what we did.
okay.
We also have a New England double IPA called Pitch Drop, 9.5%, classic New England IPA. Pushing heavy on the Citra. We got some YMA in there and a little bit of Mosaic. Freaking delicious. We have a American hybrid lager called Goldfinch. This was a collaboration. This is a birth from a collaboration we did with Last Wave Brewing in Point Pleasant. Those guys are super cool. I'm super sad that you're not here right now. Bert, you should have been here, Bert. Come on, man. So we have an American lager that we do, and then we have a strawberry banana daiquiri sour beer. So we're doing a tiki series where every new sour is a different tiki cocktail. So we've done a hurricane, strawberry banana, a zombie. We're going to be doing a scorpion bowl, a painkiller. Just
Jesus. What do we call it? Rocket fuel.
Rocket fuel.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a Scorpion Bowl. 8%. So most of our sours right now are running 4 to 4.5%.
Yeah.
The Scorpion Bowl, we're gonna do 8% fruited in 19.2 ounce cans because we want to get some people messed up on this one.
You think? Jesus.
They're going for loco.
Yeah. By the way, Jay, as I was setting up, our friends from Long Island,
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Greg and Sheila are here.
So,
hold on, Sheila, I get you up on.
So I'm assuming that's Sheila.
No.
You're Sheila. Oh, okay. You're Greg.
I'm Australian. So
Wow, Greg has beautiful hair. Like, fantastic. Holy crap. Sheila is going bald for some reason.
Yeah. It's
Everywhere.
the breast augmentation.
It might have been.
So you guys are in
Long Island.
Long Island. Okay, cool. I saw you guys. You guys at the entrance, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Sorry, as you're doing that, I'm just setting up. Jay, so the tasting room, what you guys have going on there, where it's located, everything about that. Saying it while I was setting up and I totally missed it. Sorry.
So we have a new tasting room. They had the original facility was in like a shopping complex. So
Really?
They were running like really small capacity.
Okay.
Maxed out at maybe 1,500 barrels on a really, really good year. They moved to a new facility, 10,000 square feet, in Tinton Falls, right where the Parkway, 66 and 33 meet up. So exit 100B on the Parkway. We have 13 tanks right now, 10-barrel system. We double turn almost every single day. We've got a tap room, 12 taps. We've got during the COVID situation shutdown, we were able to fit at least 60 people in there.
Wow.
And
that's pretty good.
Yeah,
that's
and honestly, like that was us like being very conservative. Now that everything's opened up, our max capacity is 400.
There you go.
Wow, right.
And
right.
they're
What is the size of the tasting room? Oh, sorry, let me get
So the entire brewery is 10,000 square feet. Our tasting room is probably pushing about 2,000 or 3,000.
Wow, that's a nice size.
But the tasting room is on one side of the cold box, and you walk past the cold box, you have all our grain shelves where we do the milling. and then you enter the actual brewery area. The only thing is we have a rope separating the actual brewery from where people can actually walk. But like, if I'm dry hopping and on top of a tank, they literally are watching me on the top of a tank.
That's always nice,
when I'm
right?
brewing, they are sitting there like, wow, it's 6 o'clock and he's still working? What is this guy doing?
I have to be honest, I have no problem saying this to the man. Yours is much bigger than mine. Ours is only about 500 square feet.
We all start somewhere. The first brewery
It'll grow? Is that what you're telling me? It's going to grow?
It's going to grow. I guarantee you it's going to grow.
So
the
much
problem
to
is
look
it's not going to grow in the location you're at.
Oh. Well, there's that back. You could. I don't know. Maybe not. Possibly. One day. Well, you guys got the brand new outdoor space, as you guys were saying, putting in a little outdoor space when the COVID hit and whatever we can do to increase capacity. You guys did the same thing and pivot.
Key.
How was that in Long Island?
I'm gonna say it was
it was a lot of fun.
Really?
It was a good time. Not stressful on any level. My alcohol and marijuana consumption did not increase on any level.
No, never.
Yeah, it was atrocious. Absolutely atrocious. Scary as shit. And but everybody's here, so we're good.
You survived. That's the most important. Is like we all survived.
And I feel like everybody. And I mean, this is me personally. This has nothing to do with COVID. It's just my personality. But I'm ready to rage. But I feel like everybody else is finally ready to rage with me. So that's good.
Yeah.
I know Face to Face is playing tonight. Let's rage.
Yeah. I'm ready. So ready to rage.
Let's get hammered. I'm waiting for Less Than Jake. Suicide Machines. Oh, went out again.
Yeah, that's what I hear everybody is talking about is Less Than Jake and Suicide Machines right now.
But Face to Face, actually, I was looking forward to seeing.
Yeah, likewise. As a punker from Seattle,
my son's in like 4 hardcore bands, so and he's like 21. I'm texting him while we're sitting here. He's like, "Who's playing?" I'm like, "Shut up."
So, how long have you guys been open?
12 years.
Holy crap!
March 1st was 12 years for us.
Congratulations!
Wow.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
You did a couple years ago.
Worst decision I've ever made was opening a brewery. Worst decision.
Do you do all the brewing yourself still, or do you have?
No, I haven't brewed in 11 and a half years.
Is your body broken?
No, I haven't brewed in 11 and a half years. No.
You have that motherfucker to brew for you.
Yeah, that motherfucker Billy. We have, that's I think it was his first week of work. He got the nickname That Motherfucker Billy.
He's in my phone. That's his contact.
Yeah.
That motherfucker Billy
TMF
Martin.
Billy. Yeah.
Comes up on your phone.
We have a couple brewers, and no, thank God I don't have to do that anymore because I'm an old man. Brewing is a young man's game.
Yes. I'm 35. I still can't get away from it. I'm not supposed to be brewing. I'm supposed to be doing admin stuff, but I still am doing 6 turns a week.
I'm 49, and I would have left if I was you. Like fucking coyote, streak fucking smoke from my heels running down this tarmac.
I think I have I like pain. I think that's a problem.
Great. I'll come pour some hot wax on your nipples later and stop brewing.
I'll give you my address. Let's make a date.
No problem. We can do this.
Oh, man. Well, this session is turning out great.
All right.
More fun yesterday. That's for sure.
This is what happens when you keep brewers away from each other for an entire year. We cannot get it out.
It's all text.
So
don't
I'd like to
serve
talk about decoction mashes.
No,
please
do not do that. I literally just did 2 turns of decoction mashing.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. We do a Hefeweizen. We do a traditional decoction mashing.
That's awesome.
I had to do 2 turns, 10 barrels each, so I had to do 2 decoctions on the same day. It was a 15-hour brew day. 2 decoction.
Can you bite your bottom lip while you say that?
No. So people are coming up to me, and like this is. People come up like, dude, this hef is great. I'm like, I'm glad you like it. Do you taste my tears?
Honestly, I give you mad credit because so many people, I can't even, because of our brew house, we can't even do decoction mash, and a lot of brew houses can't. So and even the ones that can, most guys don't. So I give you a lot of credit for doing that and keep it traditional. So props to you for that because it is not a fun grind.
No, when Pete and Mike were like, hey, we need to do the Hefeweizen again, I looked at them like, seriously, guys.
Really? You said that, not fuck you?
Can I do a triple turn of IPA instead? Because that, I know we need the hef. Okay.
You know what I heard? American wheats are really hot right now. How about we don't do this hef?
It's coming up on Sour Month.
Yes.
Here we go again.
My sales guy came up to me. He's like, hey, we're almost sold out. Can you do it again? I looked at him like, do you want me to quit?
Or you should tell me, I'd rather do seltzers.
Yeah.
No,
I'll drown you in the tank.
I'm down with seltzers. I'm totally down with making seltzers. Oh,
Have you
absolutely.
tried one? Have you guys put one through a pilot system?
We started producing seltzers when the shutdown happened, and during 2020, we bought equipment off seltzer sales.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Just blew us out.
Christ.
Carton we're really close with a lot of breweries out in the Monmouth County area, and Carton specifically. And I remember I went there to pick up some hops, and I brought them 6-packs of a boysenberry raspberry seltzer. And like every single brewer, by the time I walked out there, every staff member was drinking it on the floor. They're like, "This is awesome." I'm like, "I know."
Well, I love the fact that it's also not the standard. Hey, we have our black cherry.
Yeah. No, when I
the lime.
Yeah, exactly.
This is like when I accepted the job for Jughandle, I was 6 cans deep into their seltzers. I accepted the job.
This is a judgment-free zone right here. You can say anything, cock, balls, anything. It doesn't make a difference. Seltzer, you're fine.
So I'm not sure how your opinion on this, being in the beer industry. I don't understand why so many brewers give seltzer such a hard time.
We don't make one, but that's just us.
Sure,
I'm literally drinking Dogfish Head right now, vodka soda blueberry.
There you go.
They're amazing.
Don't cheat on the Dogfish you drinking all last night.
There's a prickly.
I'm gonna hide them soon.
There's a prickly pear seltzer that's out of this freaking world.
Did you say prickly pear?
Prickly pear
Sign
seltzer.
me up. Just point me in that
Sounds like something out of Dr. Seuss.
We'll walk. We'll walk after this.
I was actually gonna make one. I was gonna call it Ball Tickler as a prickly pear seltzer, but
No.
I couldn't get TTB.
Somehow
approval.
that didn't.
Twigs and berries, bro.
Marketing
Twigs
department
and
win.
berries.
Ooh, that actually might.
You guys are never having us on
Bat
again,
pen
are you?
No, always.
Never.
God, are you kidding me?
It's
the reason why
gold,
we
Jerry.
have
Gold.
It's going to be a quarterly thing.
Yeah, quarterly, bi-monthly.
But no, seriously, there was a lot of pushback on the seltzers back in 2020.
Yeah, there was. Yeah, you could tell people were getting like the ugh, but they didn't realize. And a lot of those ones that said
It's
that are
what
doing it
fucking
now.
people
Yeah.
want.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Listen,
I mean,
it's Pride Month. Love what you want.
Yes, exactly.
Be you.
Yeah.
Be
Fuck it
comfortable
up.
with that. It's fine.
The cells though, you could see from a marketing standpoint. You got to look at it and go, look at all this money to be made.
Yep.
And you're not taking away from the beer you brew.
I can
It's
make
not the
I can
same
make this
audience.
traditional dunkel, or I could make money.
Right.
I wish we. I wish.
Both,
Yeah.
you know,
Right,
see
right.
I
everything.
wish.
Or because I did the 5,000 cases of seltzer last
Yeah.
month.
Wait, do
now
you have a
I
finger splint on?
Right.
I do.
Yeah.
I don't even want to know what happened to that finger.
Last night
Where
was a
was
bad
it,
night.
and what does it smell like? That's all I want to know.
They had. Yeah, I mean, you could buy.
I was assembling a kid's toy.
This guy's gonna
Yeah,
buy a.
you are.
What does it
fooder.
smell like?
Oh boy, he's still
My
going on.
rage.
Trying to redirect that
My
one.
rage.
Yeah. Cheers.
The amount of money on the table though left by those breweries that didn't pick it up when they probably should or probably could, and now everyone's starting to pick it up on it. The money isn't there like it was before. But if you do a good one, if you do an off kind of flavor other than like we said lime or black cherry, you probably have a little bit more of that market, and you can cross over onto the craft market as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think like seltzers aren't hard to make necessarily, but to make one that actually is approachable for people who don't want beer, especially as a brewer, you kind of, or at least in my opinion, like I'm not sure if you guys have tried dove into seltzers too much, but you almost have to think opposite as what you normally do as a brewer, because for us it still needs to be a malted beverage, so we still have to use some type of grain in there. So how do you make a seltzer that's clean and approachable for people who don't want beer and want seltzers, but get rid of the malt, the yeast, all those characteristics that make a beer a beer.
And your hops.
And your hops, yeah. So, you really have to think outside the box as a brewer, and you have to almost like go against your training of, okay, I have to strip things. I have to clarify things. I have to do things I'm not normally trained to do, but this is where the industry is leading, and we have to be adaptable in that. So,
And you can still brew your stout.
And we still have our IPAs.
Yep.
I mean, like, I have my IPAs, I have my sours, my double IPAs, my stouts. I have a seltzer too.
Yeah.
We make I'm brewing 20 barrels of sour beer every goddamn week.
Wow.
I can't keep it on the shelf.
Right. Well, it's a time of year too.
Yeah, it's time of year. But seltzers are right there with them.
Right.
Yeah.
See, we did one seltzer, but it didn't sell. But it was a Roush seltzer. That was the problem. I called it Dirty Ashtray, and nobody bought it.
Hey, maybe it's the marketing. I'm not sure.
It could be.
No, you
can
should.
art.
The problem
I think
was
it's just a name. No.
The problem,
I don't know.
the problem was it wasn't a German style.
Damn it.
That's it. If you,
I need a
Missed the
decoction.
mark.
Did you think
need
about
to cop that
putting some in barrels?
No.
barrel eat seltzer.
You know what? I'm going to revisit.
That actually might.
Goose Island just did it.
Yes, they did.
Did they really?
Yes, they did.
What did they do?
They barrel aged the seltzer, but they weren't even the first ones to do that. Back in April, another brewery started doing.
I feel like that's like having sex with a goat on Mars. Barrel aging a seltzer to me is so fucking left field. I'm about it. But
I thought it was a throwaway.
I said
I
about
want
it.
to do it so bad.
When I said about it, it was the goats on Mars, not the seltzer.
I want to do it. I so want to do it.
I thought you said it was.
No.
Did you taste
Imagine
it?
this. Imagine this. You take a seltzer, right? You grab a gin barrel. You put the seltzer in there.
Alright.
You add a little bit of fruit.
There you go.
Boom.
I'm down with that.
That seems like a good
Every
idea.
day.
Yeah.
Tequila barrels?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yes.
All right.
Can we skip the barrels and just get gin and tequila here?
Yeah.
Actually, right now?
Firestone Walker has Fireball whiskey. Just ask them.
Oh, that's
they?
why their line is like 50 done. I'm like, what are they selling?
I don't know if we're
over
gonna
there?
start that
I'm
right
sorry,
now. Maybe
Sam,
later.
for saying that,
Speak for
but it was
yourself.
helpful.
We were trying the vintage. They were rotating. They have 8 different
The parabola?
vintage. Yeah.
Yeah.
So 8 different
Good
ones
stuff.
of the
That
blends.
was my first stop today. I saw they had the parabola last night, and I was like, I'm going straight there tomorrow.
That is a
Absolutely.
phenomenal.
Dude, the stuff that we had yesterday, I didn't
Very
get
good.
all of them, but we got at least 1 or 2 of them. Whew, what they're doing over there. And I even said to them straight out, I never gave you any props. I always recognized that brand in bottle, and I was not a bottle guy. I was a can guy.
Right.
And that kind of not just turned me off, but I never gave him that full chance. And I said, I'll get the, what was the one I said? Union Jack.
Oh, Union
every
Jack,
so
yeah.
often, and sometimes. But, now that they kind of have that, the beer emerging as more of the front and center rather than the packaging and the marketing, that's got to be recognized.
I also feel the representation in New York has been less than
Yeah,
positive
it's
or
true.
visible for the last
There's
year
like
or two.
one truck that delivers beer everywhere, right?
Yeah.
Budweiser.
But I just feel like their placement hasn't been great.
Yeah.
Through their wholesale or whatever. Like, I feel like 4 or 5 years ago they had better presence than they do now in the marketplace.
Absolutely.
And I get it because of the local market aspect, the shelf space limitations, all the aspects that we deal with on the day-to-day of the industry. But they are a powerhouse brand.
Yeah.
Putting out phenomenal liquid.
Matt Brennelson is
I'm
one
gonna
of the
turn on
reasons
it.
why I'm a brewer. Like, hands down. I met him, and I was like, oh my God, this guy's the nicest brewer I've ever met, and he's smart as hell.
Yeah.
I met him when I was like 20. And ever since then, like, Matt Brennelson and Firestone Walker have always been like my, like,
Special place for you.
I achieved to be that good.
Yeah. Dude, they're no joke. They're no
I'm gonna
joke.
have to walk it back. I'll walk back everything.
Walk it back.
Everything I might have thought. I didn't say
Eat your goddamn words,
Eat
Mike.
'em now. I'll drink them too.
Well, no, it's
Pete's
so,
gonna have 2 splints by the end of the day.
middle
And a
finger
whole
and
different
index.
aroma.
Well, so I'm excited for Wookie Jack
Oh,
because they're
I
starting
love-
to push the Wookie Jack back
Wookie
out.
is awesome.
They did two turns. They sold both out in cans. It hasn't touched the East Coast yet. I see them on Instagram.
Yep.
Coming from the West Coast, I want Wookie so bad.
I never had a chance.
We
to
were
taste it.
talking
It's
about it
phenomenal
yesterday.
beer.
It's so good,
Phenomenal
man. It's back when like Cascadian Dark Ales were like the
Yep.
thing.
Yes, hitting.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a great beer.
Delicious.
Yes.
Things that you've also experienced here on anything that stood out to you outside of Jughandle beers.
Oh man, I'm still rolling around. I'm glad to see a lot of people bringing lagers.
Yep. Yes.
I told myself no IPAs today.
Okay.
I want to
There you
try
go.
other stuff.
Yeah.
I'm really looking at Belgian beers right now, so I see a few guys bringing triples, wits, saisons, which I really appreciate. I'm so glad Merchant of Vin brought St. Bernardus because
did they? Yeah.
they have the Ab 12, they have the triple and their wit.
Ab 12 is one of my,
Oh my God.
earliest beers I started
Same.
drinking in
Same.
that genre.
Yeah.
That just hooked me.
Yeah, I saw them. I made a beeline straight from them on
Yeah.
board. I'm like, hey, Ab 12, please,
Yeah.
thank you.
I like you a lot.
Maybe they threw me a bottle of a Duchess de Bourgogne cherry
See,
chocolate.
the Duchess is like, I haven't had the cherry chocolate, but the regular Duchess to me is like, hey, just give me Ken's light balsamic vinegar and I'll just drink this right now.
I will
no
say,
problem.
reduce that down and put it on your pancakes.
Yeah.
No joke.
Really?
No joke. Yeah.
Wow.
Jesus.
If you haven't cooked with beer,
Now I'm.
Have you ever had the Duchess, Sheila? No, I haven't. It is literally like balsamic.
it's because the oak aging they do on the fooders and
Yeah.
everything like that. But you reduce that down. You put it on a salad. You can put it on pancakes. You can put it on like a chocolate cake.
How
We
do you have
do
so
that all
much
the time.
free
We
time?
cook with beer all the time.
I want
I'm
chocolate
trying to
chip.
get to
good.
Costco once a week. How do you do this?
It's all about
And you're doing
decoction.
2 turns a day.
two turns.
Concoction.
Yeah, I like to. I like to say I'm weird.
Yeah.
It's that West Coast. It's the Pacific Northwest mentality. That's all I have to say. Like,
Listen, my
you
old
love
man,
what you do, and
my
you
old
do
man
it.
lived in Yakima for 22 years.
Yeah, you know how it is.
No,
like,
I
we're
don't.
hard.
I'm a freak. I'm a New York freak. I didn't live there. Fuck that motherfucker.
You've never been out to Yakima?
Oh, I know. I went to Yakima. I told him when he moved there, I said, I will come out once to help you pack to move the fuck back to the real world.
Dude, those hop fields in Yakima are awesome,
Yeah,
man.
right next to the meth houses.
Which we all stayed in at the Airbnb.
Oh, your murder motel.
Yeah.
Where'd you go?
I am happy
We
to
survived.
you survived. Yeah.
Where did you stay?
Steve only had to stab like
Jay
5
had one too.
intruders last night.
Jay
It
had a
was
nice
fine.
murder motel as well.
It was overblown.
No.
Yeah. I mean,
If it makes you feel better, I think I saw a prostitute in our hotel.
oh, the prostitute was in our living room.
I mean,
Oh, nice. Okay.
And on our porch
So-
about 3 or 4 a.m.
I didn't think you were going to see her leaving my room, Sheila. Sorry.
My bad.
And by the way, my wife is here, so like, can we keep that quiet?
Sorry about that.
I have
My
a
bad.
second room.
My bad.
Under different names.
Jay,
Thanks, Tropicana, for the comp.
for what else you know that's out there now, what would be your go-to if you could just jump on the board and find a place?
Here in the
Right
in the
now,
fest-
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Christ.
Where would you go to? What was the first spot? Yeah, it's like looking down the line.
Dude, I know that's really.
That is such a loaded.
Can you
hard
go
question.
first?
No. Oh, no. Yes, I can.
Okay.
Platform. It's the closest
Yeah,
fucking one here.
Fair enough. Fair
And
enough.
there's no
Alcohol
line.
in my face.
There's no line.
So actually, I guess I'm gonna go with Oscar Blues and Cigar City. Mainly because like I know some of the brewers down in Cigar City. Oscar Blues has always been a favorite of mine. There's a reason why I chugged 4 cans of 1050 in an hour because I wanted to. I love those beers, and they have Goza that's just fantastic.
Yeah.
Right now, I imagine drinking the 1050 would be like the Will Ferrell when he drank the cookie dough Gatorade skin. To me, that's the equivalent of doing 1050 right now. It's too fucking hot. I couldn't.
know. I want to drink
Shotgun
all
a
of the
can.
ice cold stouts.
Yeah.
Actually, I take that back.
Okay.
So, is it New Jersey Brewing Company has their peanut butter and jelly time?
How is it good?
It's a porter. It's delicious.
They're right
it's
across
light.
us. We have to
They
jump
are.
Yeah,
over.
no,
Right.
they're it's really good. I'm not sure. They said they're blown out really quickly, but I'm assuming like the rest of us, we overstocked on kegs.
What?
Hopefully. Well, you got 3 sessions and a lot of thirsty people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, when you guys, so you guys are set up that way, correct?
Yes.
It's that,
Yeah.
and you guys are set up right at the entrance.
Yeah.
We were talking yesterday how like the crowd comes through, goes this way, hits there. Did they make their way back towards the end of the night as they came through?
I'm going to defer to Sheila because I was literally blacked out. I have no idea.
He has no idea what
After
happened
9
yesterday
p.m.,
at all.
everything. I didn't get home till 2,
Okay.
but after 9 p.m., I have zero recollection.
All right.
That is a lot of time traveling, Greg.
Sheila, how was late night last night?
So yeah, actually we did shockingly have people that did the entire thing and came back through, and we kept hearing that this place is so massive.
Yeah.
It's almost too massive. There's just so much beer, so much good beer, and you're just walking around like you're in Disneyland, right? But we had a
Or
bunch of people
in the
come
jail.
through.
in the
in the prison.
Disneyland
In the
jail.
prison.
Yes.
Beer prison.
High school hallways.
Yeah.
Worst prison ever.
But it's funny, like, to see people coming back and they're like, "Oh, we're so glad that we found you again on our way out." And I was like, "I can't believe you've been here for the last, 5 hours and you remember."
And you finished that sentence completely.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Correctly.
I mean, we saw a couple of people that were, literally. Oh well.
Yeah, we did.
that
As he
guy.
raises his
guy
hand.
That guy.
dragged out.
Good old Jelly Legs couldn't make it out on his own.
That was like the worst guy I've seen in a while, actually.
It must have been something else
And
there.
Greg was like, "I'm so thankful I wasn't the
today,
worst guy."
Today, I go, oh, she's telling me the story. I go, oh, thank God.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to be the drunkest
That guy.
person.
That
You
guy.
walked out
fine
on your
with-
own fruition.
I'm fine
He
with
did,
number
yes.
2. I did not. She drove my car back. They left me in the parking garage last night to sleep in my car.
He
'cause
slept in the
They wouldn't
parking
get
garage.
like I'm not getting out of the car. Like,
Yeah.
what are you talking about? Like,
not
leave me
gonna
in the
drag 'em out.
Like, leave me in the fucking car.
Yeah.
I like sleeping in cars.
I
Just
do.
recline
My
that seat
best-
back.
I was in the back seat. I didn't even have the reclining. I was just like, I'm good.
We sound like such a mess, but I swear we're not.
This
got out
is
of
Beer
the car-
Festival 101 right here.
I got out of the car about 1:30 in the morning. I bought a tube of Pringles. My wife woke up. My wife woke up at 2:30, going, "What's that fucking crunching noise?" And it's me going like this
4 stack.
as I ate a half tube of Pringles at 2:30 in the morning. But I will say,
Breakfast
half tube
of
of Pringles,
champions.
bottle of water. Woke up at 7 a.m. No headache, no fucking stomach ache. Not
Like
even
a
took Tylenol
machine,
today.
Like
Oh,
a
the
machine.
Pringles.
Made fucking 2 gallons of Bloody Marys, and we are here.
Yes. Yeah.
We heard about these Bloody Marys from some girls earlier.
Yes, we did.
I'm wondering if they went to Hidden Sands. The girls came over to you guys.
Who?
Hidden Sands.
No.
No,
We had our own.
We don't share our shit.
Yeah.
Especially with fucking trifling bitches.
Yeah.
We only share them with people that we love and know. Like, I'd give you all of you guys Bloody Marys. No trifling bitches.
Wow, they might have tried to work you in a little bit, warmed you up, loosened you up.
Cold-hearted motherfucker right here. No, especially when it's giving out alcohol. Nope. But apparently I was giving away merch last night when I was hammer
he's
drunk.
just handing shit out. I'm like, what are you
Tin
doing,
tackers,
man?
here you go, T-shirts.
I was about to send him home. Like, I'm sorry, you gotta go, man. You gotta go.
You're losing us money here.
Yeah.
That marketing budget just blew up.
And that's my budget too. So I'm like, nope. get
Dan, I
out.
need a little more money pushing towards Sheila's way.
I'm an owner-operator. I didn't say it was a good owner-operator.
I get the title. I don't get all the respect. So what about you guys? Something that you really stood out to you?
I literally can't even answer that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It
There's
is
a lot
I don't know.
yesterday.
It
There's
is
so
such
much.
a difficult question.
Yeah, there's really so much. I'm just all about the sours right now. Today, it's so freaking hot. That's all I want to drink.
Just
find
something
me
bright
a good,
and
clean sour. Yeah.
Jay, you said you guys are pouring a sour?
Yeah, we have a strawberry banana daiquiri.
Oh, I'm down.
We're
I'm
down.
coming
Yeah, we're
with
coming.
it. I'm all about it.
We're done? We're out, right? Okay,
I'm not kidding. We're just about done here, so we're going to walk.
You can
with
borrow
Jess.
my board if you want to go there.
That's another loaded thing. You gotta be careful.
Yeah, I've already got
Him on Bloody Marys with a board.
Ooh.
Yeah.
You ever
Not
see that
good.
movie Kids? Oh no. Jay, thanks a lot. We're gonna
Hey,
come by.
yes.
We're gonna come
This
right
was
now.
a lot of fun.
No, likewise. I'm glad I
glad you stopped by.
roll in with you guys and chat. This is
Some of those
fantastic.
types of moments are probably the best.
The
right?
the randomness in
The
this industry, I
randomness,
love
absolutely.
it.
And we got like a half an hour before our next, so we're gonna come hang out and
Yes.
drink and have a good time.
Good times.
Great. Sheila, you guys come back later tonight when things get to that same point, and we'll sit down with you and
Yeah,
get to
absolutely.
the whole
when
thing.
he's hammered
When I'm
again.
on mushrooms?
Oh, no.
Yeah. No problem.
I'm not going
Yes.
to allow that. No. Sorry,
I'm not
guys.
gonna
God
allow that.
knows what he'll
Wait, you're
he'll
not going to
say.
allow me to come back? You're not
Yeah.
going to allow me to take mushrooms?
You can't go on the Wort while you're on mushrooms.
Well,
God knows
disagree.
what he'll
I
say.
mean-
So if
It's bad.
she won't allow mushrooms, I do have edibles in my pocket.
and there we go.
Now
so,
you're talking our language. Let's go.
and you got the attention of my producer and the other producer as well. We're literally here to get drunk and high and do whatever
There's
they want to
nothing that could go wrong.
Hey,
with
it's
the other
legal.
side.
It's Jersey.
do. We're on a field in the
right.
middle of nowhere, so
Right.
it works.
Yes,
Right.
every
There are
old
no
Jersey
rules.
smells like it's weed.
There are no rules
Everywhere.
here.
Our Airbnb is.
We open the door like, okay, well, who's in here smoking pot? What's
Every
Smells
elevator in the
drugs.
Tropicana smells like weed.
Yeah.
We actually smoked a joint at the pool.
At our pool.
Nice.
Lit it up at the pool. We're like,
Yeah.
can we do this?
It's legal. Why not?
Last night,
Let's
I was
go.
like trying to get food, and literally I was like rolling through the center. I was like, someone's got a joint.
Yeah.
I smell that.
Yes.
You mean everyone.
Yes.
Everyone has
Everybody.
a joint.
I smell it. Let me inhale it.
Yes.
Chasing down that second-hand high.
Yeah, Jim Walker, just follow him along. This is the Word with Mike Pete and Steve, GovsRadio.com, live here at AC Beerfest on Bader Field. Jay from Jughandle, thank you very much.
Pleasure,
Greg,
guys.
Sheila from Long Island Brewing Company
Thanks, guys.
in Riverhead, Long Island. We'll have them on a little later. And let's go drink.
Yes.
Yes.
Cheers.
Yes.
Do that.
We'll be right back
Daiquiris.
after this.
Govs Radio. This is the Wort on Govs Radio.
This is the Word with Mike Pete and Steve, GovsRadio.com. We are live here at AC Beerfest, right on Bader Field in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Les and Jake playing in the background, having a great time today. We are joined by Mike and Mike from the Craft Beer League.
And Mike.
And Mike, and there's Mike's, and there's a lot of Mikes. So, Mike, thanks for stopping by.
Thanks for
you.
having me.
You guys ran the Hop Trot today?
We did.
That took balls.
Oh,
'cause
wow,
it
good
was
for you.
hot and disgusting, and then you came and drank beer for the last 4 hours. So, good for you guys.
We were able to start drinking beer earlier because
Yeah.
we did the.
That's right.
There you go.
Oh, that's right. You got the VIP treatment.
That's right.
Once you go through it.
Yeah, but you know the record holder can sleep well tonight.
Yeah.
Because, you know.
Is there a record?
Yeah. He can rest easy.
You can have it.
Yeah.
It's all
yeah.
him.
Yeah.
Jesus. I mean, you guys, beautiful day for it, though. Gotta admit. I mean, yesterday was a little bit of a washout at the beginning, and then it turned up good. Are you guys only here for the first session?
Yes.
All right. And have you been to AC Beerfest before?
No.
Okay.
This is our first
time.
and we're loving it.
Wow.
Great, yeah.
So it was held at the convention center 2 years ago, indoors. They had the Hop Trot, same thing. But we're getting a lot of feedback that this is like the best layout just because it's so big, and it's also the worst layout because it's so big.
Well, as long as you get the weather to be like today,
Yeah.
you're in pretty good shape.
So tell me about this. This is the Craft Beer League here in New Jersey, right?
Yes.
And what's the premise here? What are we doing?
Well, the premise is very similar to sports fantasy,
Okay.
except it's craft beer. So you select, you can be a commissioner, set up a league,
Okay.
or you can just play in our national league against everyone. But you pick 6 beers,
Okay.
and you get points weekly based on how those beers perform in the marketplace.
Now, how do you get those stats? That's a big question. Like,
Yeah.
how do you know what their sales are? Are you in touch with the breweries?
No.
You have to go back and ask for sales.
We're buying the data through Nielsen. So
Get the fuck. Nielsen carries that data. The
Yeah.
same baseball people.
Yeah, the people that do the
No, that's Elias. I'm thinking Elias.
The
Sorry.
TV ratings people.
Right.
Also
TV
do.
ratings, right.
Yeah, so there's a couple companies you can go out and get retail sales from, and they've been very helpful. And
okay.
so we're getting data.
They're
from
pulling
them.
like credit card data.
They're actually
They're pulling it. It's the scanner data. So every time you bring your 6-pack through a register, that's getting recorded.
And this is obviously nationally, right?
Yes, it is
they
national.
do. And does it have international sales included in that?
No, it's just total U.S. national food, drug, mass, and liquor store.
Okay.
So it's pulling from those type of things.
Wow.
And the points are to be an equalizer rather than just like total points, because then some of the larger craft would win every
It's
week.
weighted.
Yeah.
It's sales versus week ago.
Okay.
So there's some variability. So
Okay.
if you had a
Comps,
really
okay.
and if you had a really bad week, chances are you're going to have a better week the next week, right?
Yeah.
Because
Right.
it's all versus the week before. So there's some variability, but just like fantasy sports, if you study it, you can do you can do pretty well. And we've actually had we've gone down to St. Joe's University in Philadelphia, and their analytics department. We've had their class. We have it as part of the curriculum there, where they're trying to break. We did it with them originally to test it out to make sure no one could hack the game.
Right.
But now it's part of their curriculum where they're actually doing this is trying to predict which beers do well.
Right.
And that's exactly right. So I know their students learn a lot in their college career, but the one thing we're very sure of is they come away knowing more about these 200 craft beers than they did going into the course.
So what's the criteria for the breweries you're tracking? So obviously there's a lot more than 200. Is it the top 200? What are you pulling data from?
The current, last year's sales to go into
from
this
the
year?
breweries themselves, or just from retail sales? From a liquor store or distributor.
Yeah, I guess the criteria is they have to have a somewhat of a sizable sales in retail.
Okay.
That's the pool of retail, and then. To be honest with you, right now, and that's why we're here, we've kind of picked the beers. And we've tried to pick it from across the United States, at least one brand from the major or even smaller brewery. But they have to hit the radar that they have to be in retail. If they're just got a brew pub or a microbrew, we don't have that information.
You're not going to get that data.
Yeah. But we're actually here talking to some liquor chains. Hopefully, we'd love to start like a New Jersey liquor store. If we could get their data and have just a solely...
Like a localized,
hyper local, because that's the fun of craft beers. It's hyper local.
One of the bottle shops on Long Island for March Madness, they had done something a little similar. They had done a bracket system for all the breweries on Long Island, as well as some of the Brooklyn and Queens breweries, and it was the fucking most brilliant thing I'd seen them do in a long time. Just and then everyone just voted on Instagram who's the better brewery, and it was just.
It blew up because all the breweries were reposting it. They got thousands of people to follow them because they also had interweaved it with pictures from their bottle shop and what was coming out.
Yeah,
it was a great market.
It is great marketing. This one's a little bit different in that you can't mess with the numbers too well. You can go out and buy a couple $1 million worth of beer if you want to win the week, but it's not a popularity contest.
Sure.
It's all based on what's selling. So we think it's a little bit more impartial that way.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So give us a few examples of the breweries that are, it's beers specifically. So it's, it's not Allagash Brewing. It'd be Allagash White that's being tracked, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll give you an example. Like one that we love following is Blue Point Toasted Lager.
Okay.
Because,
local to us.
Yeah. So we play an 8-week league, and for whatever reason, and we were talking to those guys earlier today, they will have a week where their percentage growth is in the thousands of percent.
Wow.
And we think it has to do with buy one, get one down in Publix in Florida.
Oh, okay.
And their sales just go through the roof. And if you're playing the game, if you've got them that week, that's great. If you don't, you're in sad state. But in the St. Joe's League, in the school, that always messes up the students because it totally throws off that whole course.
That sounds very on brand for Long Island. I get it.
But it's a huge speed bump in the course when that happens, and we just kind of wait for it. We'll just sit there because we know it's going to happen, and so that's an indicative of a beer we have. So Blue Point Toasted Lager, but it's very beer specific.
And so it'd be Blue Point. They have a lot of beers in the marketplace, but you're tracking. For Blue Point, you're just tracking Toasted Lager. You're not tracking like Hoptical Illusion or their Blueberry Ale or something, right?
That's right. Yeah,
Okay.
it's just the one, and we've tried it just to kind of spread things out. We've tried to keep it to only 1 or 2 beers per brewer.
Right. That makes sense.
And one of the conversations we're having today with some of the brewers, even like Blue Point, is, hey, we've done this and it's got a lot of traction. The students love it. Everyone's learning about the beers. But they're learning about the beers that we chose. So kind of our message to brewers now is, hey, instead of letting us choose, what would you like?
What do you want
to
to track? Or
because we're happy to
because it's exposure for that that SKU that needs a little bump.
And we're pulling the images from the web, and they probably have cleaner images that they would like to represent.
You want the higher res.
And we have an app, and definitely when you get down to an app, you really want a very clear image on the app because it's very small. So those are the types of conversations we're having with brewers here. And then, of course, we're talking to everyday people. It's free to play. So this is a natural audience. We think, from our experience we've seen, that the crossover between fantasy sports and craft beer, that Venn diagram is a lot of people.
Right. See, that's the thing. I'm outside of that because I don't follow sports at all.
Which is crazy for an adult male nowadays.
I have no interest in it at all. But I'm left out of that fantasy, that camaraderie. So this is right up my alley because I know shit about fucking hockey, but
I know a lot about beer.
I know a little bit about beer.
There you go. Well, the one thing that we've noticed that's, I think, interesting about it is people come in playing the game, and we started with 200 beers. And many people may not know even the majority of those beers. Everyone will know the popular ones. They won't know a lot of the other ones. I think some of that happened even in the NFL with fantasy football.
Oh, yeah. Going into that.
At first, in this area, we kind of knew that, the players from the Eagles and the Giants.
Eagles, sure.
But you didn't know a lot of the other
Cowboys,
players around the league.
America's team. I'm just saying.
Bunch of douchebags.
You didn't know a lot of players around the league till you started playing fantasy football.
Right.
Now you know the third wide receiver on Seattle. So we see the same thing happening with this craft beer league. As people come in playing the game, and after an 8-week season, they may not know all 200, but they've learned something about many of those beers. Because part of reviewing the beers, there's a little snippet or a story about the beer. There's an image of what the bottle or can looks like.
What's funny about that is it would leave out some of those breweries that still do self-distribution.
Right.
They're powerhouses and they have a huge following, but they distribute to absolutely no one.
Right.
Someone like a Treehouse or a Trillium.
That's right.
They're not
wild.
They're not in our. They're not. We'd like to have them in there, but they're not. And
but that's part of their mystique. That's what they want. They
don't absolutely.
Want
I just those are some of the sought after beers, but because that's their their business strategy is we don't self-distribute, so we keep the profit margins higher. But how do you keep a brewery honest? So if you get you want to get Brewery X that's in somewhere in Massachusetts maybe, and they make a lot of popular beers that are color coded.
Right.
How do you trust their numbers compared to getting that Nielsen data?
We just use Nielsen, so it's an impartial, unbiased. We have no dog in the fight. So those are the pure numbers. Now it's a projected number similar to maybe the U.S. Census, but it is the reality for the week as to what the beer sales were. And so it's as clean, as impartial as you can get it.
So there'd be no way for a brewery a large brewery that self-distributes to get in the game, right?
No, they'd have to sell it's not perfect right now, and we'd like to expand it, but right now it's beer selling in retail.
So it have to be a UPC label, pretty much.
Right.
Yeah, pretty much you do.
If it doesn't have one, then they're out.
And we definitely would like to get down to as low, there's 11,000 beers out there that we could have potential, but the game becomes unwieldy at that point.
Sure.
So what we've done is
and that's why I think keeping it regional too, you can get a little more granular for that market.
We think talking to some of the local liquor stores or that have a chain.
Yeah, sure.
I think it'd be fun for them.
To have Total Wine or something like that.
Total Wine or even something more regional where we can have like a South Philly, South Jersey craft beer league. And that it's maybe something in the future.
Like a subdivision of the national.
Of the national league. Because, this is after all, you guys know this better than we do, but it's all hyper-local, right?
Oh, absolutely. That's kind of the thing right now. That's where the market is, for sure.
So we'd like to tap into that.
Yeah.
So
be a great way to do it with all the guys here. If enough.
Which is, I guess, why part of the reason you guys are here, other than running.
It could be next year. There will be the AC Craft Beer Fest.
Sponsored by Craft Beer League.
Yeah.
You guys said you guys do a podcast. Does it have to do with the league, or is it?
Yeah, we just we talk to people from different breweries. Like we've had the head of the founder of Toppling Goliath on, and so we try and bring it's hit and miss because people are like, who are you? We're not as well known as you guys.
Nope, we've been there. That's
and we're still there.
4 years in, we've done 80 plus shows because we only do it every other week. We still have our local guys that all know us, but we come to these so we can expand that horizon and we get to know people. So Jay from Jughandle, fucking awesome dude. Hang out with him. We'll probably hang out with him later. And place like that, new relationships, new people. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, and we're looking at it as a way to educate people on the league too. Because half the time when we get these guys on the phone, they're like, "We didn't know this existed," and we know that. It's just Mike and Mike. So we're just starting out.
At this point, how many people are in the league?
We have about 1,000 people playing each season, but we want to get a lot more than that.
Yeah.
So
that's still a good number, though.
Yeah, we can scale to a lot more. So that's the goal. And awareness is the big thing, because we walk around here and he's making fun of me, but I'm kind of looking at people. I'm sizing them up, saying, "Do you think they play fantasy sports?" Because we know they like craft beer if they're here, right?
Sure.
And I'm like, So we're halfway there.
So if you would have looked at Pete, would you say, "Oh, he's a fantasy guy"? Yeah. And he fooled you.
I fooled him.
He did.
Yeah.
He would blow the demographic. I guess I'm biased profiler. I shouldn't be doing it.
He looks more like the football fan than the baseball or the basketball. He's like, I would see you at a Bears game. I'm like, all right, the Bears.
The Bears.
Football is about the only thing I'll sit and watch if it's on, but I couldn't tell you more than 5 players.
Okay, fair enough.
He's coming with beers.
What do you think the top 5 trading beers right now are?
You know what? They are the more...
Is this inside information? Am I going to get arrested for
No,
that?
because it's not inside. What would you say, Mike? It's the more popular beers, right? And it's
we can even kind of look it up in terms of that week over week growth.
Yeah.
I don't know the beers offhand, but it's not going to be the bigger ones all the time like a Blue Moon.
Right.
Kind of what we've seen though from the data, the lower alcohol. Even one of the beers we have in the league is really is Run Wild IPA from Athletic.
Okay.
So that actually has done very well in growing sales, even as a non-alcoholic beer.
Yeah.
That's interesting. That's so weird.
What, the non-alcoholic?
Is there a league for seltzers?
Oh
boy.
We've been
subdivision seltzer league.
We've been walking around saying, should we have a cider league and seltzer league? I'd like to get your opinion on it.
Everyone's coming out.
I think seltzers. I think that I don't drink them. But there's I don't know if you saw the signs. They're doing a fucking seltzer festival next.
We did see that. And I will tell you
bananas.
I think of it the same way you do, but that's where the market's going. When we were talking to Jay from Jughandle, he said, seltzer isn't my thing, but during the pandemic, we were able to buy new equipment that we otherwise wouldn't have been able to from sales of seltzer.
Yeah.
So,
just look at Boston Beer.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. But here's the one thing I'll just mention from looking at the data every week. So I kind of see even the top level numbers. And last week, the week ending May 31st, was the first week where hard seltzer actually passed craft beer.
Get out of here.
In terms of that segment of sales, based on the Nielsen.
It's like Red's Apple Ale. Is that the?
It's
no, that's a cider.
That's a cider.
No,
it's
it'd
truly
be the Truly
White Claw
and White Claw.
They're
Well, that's
okay.
going to be
seltzer.
interesting.
I would assume surpassing.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Cider, I wouldn't. Expect.
No, cider. It's seltzer.
Seltzer.
I'm saying.
Yeah, I believe that. That makes sense.
Because it's something you buy in 12 packs.
Absolutely, yeah.
And you don't buy a 12 pack of
See
craft
someone
beer
go-
and drink it in a day.
Right.
So we are looking at the dollars, so it is the total dollars spent. But
So we're not close to a seltzer league, but when we looked at it, we actually worked at Nabisco. So we come from the
Get out of here.
Yeah, we
There you
come
go.
from the.
We got an Intimins man right here.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
And so we come from the. We knew all this data resided, and we thought it'd make for a fun fantasy league.
Yeah.
And we said, well, what category would really be hot? And we didn't have to go too far. It's craft beer.
Yeah.
There's nothing, from a loyalty standpoint. There's nothing more loyal. Right?
Too far away. Shit. Right? The comment section on some of these pages is fucking brutal.
Yeah. So if Seltzer, I'll be honest with you, I'm not that excited about Seltzer.
I'm not.
A Seltzer league, I'm open to it, but I'd be surprised if it has that passion.
It does. It does have that brand loyalty as far as I drink truly fucking black cherry or something.
Right.
Okay,
you're right. Here's the thing I noticed too, because it goes back to the podcast, it goes back to the conversations we've had with brewers, and it's that every craft beer kind of has a story behind it, whether it's a story behind the name or the history or the beer, and you every craft beer kind of has a personality,
right?
And I don't feel
you don't feel the same way about seltzer.
I don't feel you feel the same way. So I think it's interesting to hear the story of how a certain beer was named.
Yeah.
Or how
Let me tell you the story behind the seltzers. It's called money.
And
profit.
Yeah.
Step 1,
Done.
brew seltzer. Step 2,
buy craft beer equipment with
Step 3, profit.
And then repeat.
Yeah.
That's it.
Mike and Mike, really appreciate it. Check out the Craft Beer League.
Fascinating to me.
You have a website, it's thecraftbeerleague.com.
Yeah, are you guys on Instagram? Where can you
We are on Instagram, the Craft Beer League. I don't know if something might be abbreviated, but we're on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and of course the website.
We're starting a summer league in about 2 weeks.
Wow.
So
is there a cost to go in? That's
totally free.
Totally free to play.
Totally free to play. You can be a commissioner, invite your friends.
Okay.
Or you can play in our national league and play against everyone out there.
And now what are the just bragging rights pretty much, or do you have sponsorships that are giving prizes? Or
not yet.
Okay.
That's what
That's
part of what
Sure.
that's why we're here.
Yeah.
But right now it's just bragging rights.
That's awesome.
And that's similar to fantasy. We see a lot of that. Someone setting up a
sure.
league and getting into. So there's those.
Or whoever's losing gets has to do something very embarrassing and
Right.
Drink a hard seltzer.
That's it. But those things are happening offline. We're not endorsing those. But that's another reason why we're here. We think sponsorship, some kind of prize, that always would make it more fun.
And to have their branding on their website, and there's 1,000 people looking at it, especially locally. I mean, that's great.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mike and Mike, really appreciate you stopping by. It's awesome.
Guys, we appreciate it.
Very
This is great.
cool.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for
Enjoy
having
the
us.
rest of the day. This is going to be a good time. It's going to wrap up soon. I don't want to keep you from drinking too much. Got 20 minutes left. Get those last drinks in.
This has been awesome, and we'd like to have you on our podcast.
Yeah, reach out. Come on. And we got
all
all our stuff out there on the sign. Just scan it, and you'll get right into contacting us.
Awesome.
All right.
Thank you
Mike
very
and Mike
much.
from the Craft Beer
Very good.
League.
Thanks,
This is
guys.
Mike,
Thank
Pete,
you.
and Steve from Wort, GubsRadio.com, and we'll be right back after this.
Gubs Radio. This is the Wort on Gubs Radio.
This is The Wort with Mike, Pete, and Steve, GubsRadio.com, live here at AC Beerfest, out here in beautiful Bader Field. We are joined by the boys from Tuckahoe, Corey, and Fun Bobby. Rob is here to talk about, we had you on in 2019.
Oh, yeah.
Had a great time with you. Really appreciate you spent the time with us.
I got a whole new brewer.
I think everything is new because we're just new again.
It's a really different brewer, too.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Well, let's talk about it. You guys, like I said, came on in 2019. Had a great time with it. Tell us what the update is 2 years ago over COVID and what has been going on.
I'll tell you what. It's been an interesting 2 years. What have you been there, 2 years now? Yeah.
2 and change.
Two and change, yeah. So the ironic thing is I came from Pinelands, and then I heard that Corey was looking for another place to work, and he worked at Pinelands.
There you go.
So he ended up with us, and it was a great fit. Like, he's been a great fit for us, and he's probably the most laid back brewer that I've worked with since I've been there. I've been with them 4.5 years now, and I've been through a couple 3 brewers now. He's definitely the most laid back. He's got a lot of talent. We're making some really cool stuff now, which it makes me excited. Like, it makes my job easier in a sense to be able to sell. Like, listen, you always have your little bit of issues because everybody has different personalities, but we get along very well, and it's nice to be able to, like, it's refreshing because I'm selling something that I never had to sell before, and they sell great.
Yeah. So we loved the IPA you guys brought 2 years ago. What is this liquid deliciousness that you brought to us, Corey?
Oh, today it's called Dockside Daydreaming. It's a Pilsner, kind of just like a light lager.
Tell us a little bit about that. Break that down for us.
I will. It's a.
I will, and I shall.
It's a very basic malt bill, just a lot of base malt, a little bit of acid malt, German acid malt, to give it just a little bit of zip.
Nice.
Because it's a very basic beer in itself, so you got to give it a little bit of complexity. You know, like, I don't want it to just taste like Coors Light, where it's just water.
Yeah.
So you got to try something. So there's a little bit of German acidulated malt in there.
Yeah.
And just some German hops called Mandarina Bavaria. Nice, cool hop. So.
Yes. That's one of Steve's faves.
Yeah, it's definitely not present enough, I would say. It's not like it's dry hopped with it, but try to go with a more present hop just to give it something. And I think it's
what would you say your specialty is? The thing that you brewed the most that you're really happy with? The thing that really hits every time?
Since we've gotten to Tuckahoe, we've been brewing a lot of these hazy IPAs. You know, it's what's in the market now. It's what everyone wants.
As one does.
And
one should.
Yeah, I mean, it's what everyone buys, what everyone wants.
Makes it easy on Rob.
It does. And the funny thing is, I've had the most success with the hazy IPAs with Corey because a lot of the brewers I work with, we have a distributor and they have that mentality. Like, I hate the distributor. I'm like, they do a lot of stuff for us, and he's like me. Like, I don't care if the beer is clear. I want what's hot.
You gotta give people what they want sometimes.
And our brewers always were like, I want clear beer. I'm like, no, I don't.
Yeah, I mean, they're tough to brew. I mean, we definitely had our growing pains with them as well. Like, they weren't as good when we first got them, we first tried them. But you go through your processes, you keep trying, and I would say that's probably the strongest part of our repertoire now. Probably is the hazies, and the fruity, the sours are doing pretty good as well. Fruity sours.
I would say they're our best sours, our hazies and our fruited sours. So we have like a Blueberry Fields, which is Blueberry Fields Forever. So the actual can label is 4 blueberries walking across Abbey Road.
Oh, yeah, it's like the Abbey Road.
Yeah, our can art's pretty much off the charts.
Yeah,
and to put the beer with it is such a compliment. And yeah, I found it was funny. Like, our sours never really sold that great. Now, like when he came here, I was like, can we make them colored? Yeah, and I'm like, I don't care. Keep up in the puree. So we pretty much do. Tell them how much.
Yeah, we just threw a lot of puree in there.
For
anyone in the business that's listening, it's just a box per barrel. Anyone that knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You guys get your puree from Oregon?
Oregon malt.
Yeah.
It's the most common thing. We realize it's not locally sourced fruit, but it's consistent and
it's aseptic.
It's more cost effective, honestly, and you get a better effect from it. We've tried locally sourced fruit. I've tried locally sourced fruit.
Were you there
on many different levels?
Were you there when I bought the blueberries?
Yeah, we tried it at Tuckahoe. Yeah,
700 pounds that they had to boil. They had to boil it all down
and process them and all this shit. And then the beer ended up not even tasting like blueberry.
It wasn't it doesn't.
Yeah, it's not a lot
How many hours of work was that?
It was multiple days.
Wow.
But shout out to our cellarman at the time, Kevin Riley, if he's listening. We made him do a lot of it. But you just realize
we pawned that off on him.
Yeah. But I mean, it's just it's the hype beers. We know it's the hype beers, but we again, you got to give the people what they want, and we still know how to make other good beers. We still make random beers, Anglesey Red Ale, New Old School. Like we have West Coast IPAs that we can hang our hats on. It's not just the the hazy beers. So you got to mix up what the people want with steady beers.
Yeah.
That's the key.
What do you guys have in tanks right now? What are you going to come out? What's the next release?
Well, our best hazy is actually in the tank right now, right in the summertime. Like, that's one of our better. Yeah, it's crazy. Like, we all make up names, and sometimes we'll say, yeah, this name's going to go on a beer or whatever. Like, our beer artist, Mike Bell, like, I would sit at his house, and he has record albums that are autographed from, like, when he was in the advertising business. So I was sitting there one day, we were doing a label, and I was like, the Alarm, Rain in the Summertime. Like, that's going to be the name of a beer. And then Corey actually formulated that beer, and I'll tell you what, it's been a hit since we did it, and it's gotten better and better every time. I think like we're hitting our stride, whereas like that beer's been super hazy every time, it's super juicy every time. Like, yeah, sometimes we'll get a beer and it's like it's a little different, but not that many people would know, but we know.
Yeah,
sure. Like, but rain and summertime is super consistent, and it's a hot beer.
What have you done when the pandemic hit? What'd you do to kind of pivot and kind of get through weather the storm in a way?
So I love that every brewer or owner has done that same thing. Like when we ask that question, they just fucking laugh and they're thinking back in their head like, I almost killed everybody.
I'll give you a quick one in a nutshell.
We stopped everything.
We pretty much stopped everything. We canned.
So we're gonna can everything.
Every beer we made, pretty much. Like I was lucky. Like I pushed some stuff through quick, and I think.
You didn't know if draft beer was going to sell for another year.
I didn't
know
know.
what I mean? You might not sell a keg for a year.
So like I went to one liquor store. I'm like, oh my god, I have 20 SKUs. I told Corey, I'm like, we gotta dial this back, and literally like
four beers.
We didn't brew a lot, but every beer we brewed we had a can, and we cleaned. Like we all had our little separate spots in the brewery and clean. We plotted new beers. They taught me how to play Nintendo.
Rob got pretty good at Mario Kart.
Nice.
Shit, nice.
Cornhole.
NES or Wii version?
The original N64.
All right.
So these guys, like we all had to work. Like there was rules. Like we had to work our hours, whatever. Like I always say, you guys go. I was closed or whatever. And then they would leave, and I'd like practice.
If you can master Rainbow Road, you got to.
I'd text them like, dude, I crushed it.
So canning everything. How's it now starting to transition back? Are there contracts opening up and things are starting to move forward a little bit?
We're moving a ton. I mean, we have a lot of beer in there because of Beerfest. Like, we probably made some batches for Beerfest bigger than what we wanted to make, but we have a lot of beer. We'll get rid of it. Like, I'm not worried about it. Like.
If I have to drink it myself, it's gonna happen.
No, some of the beers that we made a lot of were big hits here, so that's good for us. And I mean, we have challenges. Like we're running out of half kegs because a lot of places want half kegs now.
Yeah.
Like,
empty kegs, or just in general, we have a very large brewing system.
Yeah.
So we have a 15-barrel brewing system. So I mean, this is 500 gallons or.
Yeah.
Whatever, when you're going to cut it, 90 sixtels at a time we make it once. So I mean,
God.
Sometimes you have these ideas. For example, at Beerfest this year, I made this green tea lemon pale ale. You guys might have tried it, you might have not. It's called Wind in the Willows. I had no idea what it was going to turn out like. But I had
Are you
to
pouring it this week?
It's pouring right now. Yeah. It's actually
going
gone over pretty well.
We like it.
All things considered, as to how it turned out pretty crazy. But you make like 90 kegs of it at once.
Wow.
So there's no.
There's
awesome. No experiment. Well, there is experimentation, but you got a lot of it.
Yes.
So
it's an expensive experiment if it doesn't turn out right.
Crossing fingers.
It's going pretty well right now. Actually, I'm surprised. I'm happy with how well it's going. And the other beers are going well, so can't complain.
Awesome.
And you know what? Over COVID too. There you go.
Yeah.
That's something else I had to talk about. I started Brewery Strong.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Talk more about
that. It was just like a random idea. Like I was home one night and I was sick of news, but I watched the news and I was like. Sitting there eating dinner, and I had to do a Facebook Live with South Jersey beer scene, and it came on America Strong, and I was like, how about Brewery Strong, right? And I was like, So I was in there talking, and I was like messaging in there, and I was like, #Brewery Strong, and then everybody was like, yeah. And then I text John, and I was like, let's make this a thing. Let's make it happen. And we Alexis, who's up there now, we made it a legitimate 501c3. We raised $90,000.
Shit, wow. A lot of money raised. It's been great.
And I think we gave out $65,000 in grants. There was a couple big ones, like people that had cancer, and one of the people ended up dying, but I had some people that matched money, so we ended up giving them like $3,000.
For family and just time,
But most people got $250 grants, tax-free money.
Right.
Now we're going to try to move forward with it as far as, we're going to try to legitimize the brewing industry in New Jersey. We're going to offer scholarships to brewing school. Like,
wow, that's
if
great.
Corey enrolls in brewery school, he can apply for a scholarship. Anybody can apply for a scholarship that's in the brewing industry. Like, it could be in my position as brewery management, which there's certificates for that. So we just want to make our industry legit.
Right.
It's pretty radical, the amount.
Yeah.
I mean, like you said, the amount that they've actually raised, like
And-
for something that started just basically as an idea.
And I came back and told him, I was like, dude, these people are like, everybody, like, they wanted to put their money for them all together somewhere, and they couldn't really find a place they were comfortable with, and we made it.
That's fucking cool. How could people apply? Is there a website for this?
Yeah, it's www.brewerystrong.org. Whoa.
Wind's picking up.
And we have a website that has.
Hold on to you.
There's still people that can get grants. So we're kind of winding the grant period down. I mean, we're going to try to keep the grants for somebody who's ill
necessary.
or really ill and really needs it. Like not hey, I'm out of work. And then get the scholarship going. We've been selling some T-shirts. They're set up right next to us this week.
Cool.
T-shirts, and we'll probably get some more merchandise out there as well.
Hell yeah. So go to brewerystrong.com.
Brewerystrong.org.
.org. Right. All right. Good. Yeah. Because it's the 503, right?
Yeah.
It's usually they want the organ.
Yeah.
There. Rob, anything else? Give us the big plug for Tuckahoe.
We got 16 great beers, 16 great flavors on
tap.
Nice.
There we go. And you know what? Yeah, he's not even a salesman, but you know what? I feel that sometimes Tuckahoe is the forgotten stepchild, but you know what? We're right there. We make some really good beer.
Oh, yeah.
And,
Corey's doing a bang-up job.
We like being the underdog. We're like the Eagles.
Yeah, we are the underdog, and we're coming at your heels.
We like being the underdog.
Where can people find it on social media and all that?
Tuckahoe Co. on Instagram.
It's Tuckahoe Co.
Tuckahoe Brewing Company on Facebook. We have a Twitter account, but we don't really use it.
I think everyone just has to have one.
I think everybody's over Twitter.
Yeah.
At this point, it's time to move on.
Yeah.
We got beers to drink, and
we have our website.
We shouldn't be dropping like opinions on Twitter.
TuckahoeBrewing.com. Yeah.
There you go.
There's too many opinions on Twitter.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Rob, Corey, really appreciate you spending some time with us.
Thank you guys.
Thanks,
Tuckahoe and, of course, Brewery Strong. Check them out. And this is The Wort with Mike, Pete, and Steve, GovsRadio.com. It's the end of session 2 here at AC Beerfest. One more session. We're going to get
another session.
Wort. We'll be back right after this.
Govs Radio. This is The Wort on Govs Radio.
Well, we're back here at the AC Beer Festival. The Wort with Mike, Pete, and Steve. GovsRadio.com. Don't shrug at me like that was a bad intro. It wasn't. It's one of the better ones I've done. We're here with Scott and Brendan from Alternate Ending Brewing Company. What's going on, guys? Thank you very much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
So we are in between session 1 and session 2 and session 3 here on day 2 of AC Beerfest. Really quick, first impressions about the outside festival this year. What do you guys think about it?
Despite the rain yesterday, it's good. I think people are enjoying it outside. We're enjoying it outside. We can deal with the wind. We're having a good time.
Did they have any tent issues just right now?
Not yet.
I saw the Guinness tent just rip
Guinness
apart.
tent.
Man.
We're fortunate we have a lot of empty kegs right now, so they're holding our tent down.
Tie it down.
Nice.
Guys, tell us a bit about the brewery, how to get started, where to come from, how's everything working up to now?
Yeah, so it got started by just a chance dinner at a place called Heirloom Kitchen in Old Bridge.
Oh, right.
And the owner, who I happened to go to elementary school with.
Oh, wow.
She told me her dad owned the old Bowtie movie theater in Aberdeen, New Jersey, place where I saw my first movie as a kid.
Wow.
Really?
And she told me it's amazing. Bowtie wasn't going to renew their lease, and her dad thought it'd be a cool place to put a brewery.
Yeah.
And I said, it's funny because I drove by with my wife on the way here, and I said that would be a cool place to put a brewery. And
just how that works. It worked that way.
I was working at Other Half at the time, working overnights, and I had an overnight on starting on Monday at 10 at night. So I met her dad at about 11 in between my nap, and we kind of just hit it off. And he's like, I think you should take half of it. It's 9,000 square feet. At the end of the conversation, I'm like, Harry, I think it's a great idea, but I'm going to need the whole thing. And he just kind of laughed, and he's like, I like this kid. So I got started on a business plan and hired some really talented people around me, and we just put it all together in a short amount of time. And of course, it was right before COVID, so we opened our doors in October. Wow. So we had to build through it, and luckily the governor said that the brewing industry was essential business, so I took that as construction on breweries are essential.
Oh, yeah.
So we just kept riding, and then met Brendan. He answered an ad on, it was a Pro Brewer or...
Pro Brewer Brew Association, something like that.
Yeah, and we kind of hit it off as well, and Brendan moved from Kansas during COVID to become our head brewer.
How easy was that?
It sucked.
I mean, it's got to be a tough transition. You guys were kind of rocking and rolling, no cares in the world. This thing hits. How did you pivot? What did you guys do?
Well, I don't know. So basically, we started construction, and then this thing hit. So we were delayed. We took over the space in September before COVID was late February, March, and we started our build out in late February, and then all of a sudden the world stopped. So again, we just luckily our GC worked out of Pennsylvania, and everything in Pennsylvania shut down. So he was able to dedicate a lot of his manpower to our place in New Jersey. So Elevate, they built Victory. They did some pretty significant projects.
Yeah.
So they were able to just just get going, and we bought our system through Specific. They're out of BC, so they were shut down as well, but they were able to keep going, and a lot of breweries kind of backed out or said, I'm going to see what happens, so kind of pause your my work order with Specific. I was like, go move as fast as you can, and they were able to execute and get us everything we needed, and we opened and we started brewing in when our first brew, which is right here, our single decocted
You should have came by right before you guys were coming. I was like, yeah, it's all right.
We started it in September, our first brew.
Yeah, right at the end of September.
Yeah.
As soon as we thought we were good to start making beer, we knew we couldn't sell it, but we knew we could start making beer. So we just kind of started making beer. Pretty sure we were good, but it takes time to dial in the system and really figure out what the system wants and really convey what we wanted to convey. Making a beer isn't just about like, here's a beer. It's how do we want to represent the brand. So there's a lot of thought and really kind of it was tricky, but to be honest, we were really fortunate, and our numbers hit right away. Just everything really lined up, and the beer gods, they shined on us, man, for real. So we've been just going hard ever since.
And the first brew was a Pilsner.
It was the single decoction. So I thought, well, maybe I'll just step mash this, and we'll just dial in the recipe. But I was also fortunate enough that Scott splurged on the decoction loop on the system because we wanted to make world-class lagers.
Yeah.
And that's the way to do it, to really have that nuance, that little bit of my art and that extra character.
Yeah.
So I thought, man, you know what? I don't know anything about this system, but if we've got the decoction loop, we're going to do it. And we did it.
Yeah, we did it.
And it's good.
Yeah.
So 2 hands in the air, just...
And the recipe hasn't changed. So our Royal Rug is exactly the same as it was the first brew we ever did.
Wow.
Brew 1. It hasn't changed.
What's the breakdown? Malt, hops, what do you guys use?
I'm a big fan of very simple recipes. You can do a lot with very few ingredients. So this is 96% Pilsner malt and 4% acid malt to keep our malt mash pH in check. Mm-hmm. But then I do a step mash where we do a quick protein rest, a beta amylase rest. So we take it up to an alpha amylase, and then take about 65% of the mash to the mash lauter tun, and we boil the other 35%. That, when we return that after the boil to the mash, that mashes out and denatures the enzymes, but you also get that little extra toastiness, a little color, but it's a nuance.
For the extra little bit there that kind of continued on the path.
Absolutely, yeah. So that'll mash out the enzymes, and then we'll continue the process from there.
Very cool.
But you're not going to get a lot of color, that boiling of the grain. People that don't do the decoctions, they think, well, that's going to, really turn this into something very malty or add a lot of color to the beer. But if you do it right, I think you get just a little nuance, but it's still very light in color. It's not too malty. It just,
sits right where you want it.
It's the way, and I'm very much a traditional brewer, and this is the way to do it.
Before you got here, you were in Kansas. Were you brewing with someone else?
Yeah, so I was at a brew pub in Hayes, Kansas called Della's Diner and Liquid Bread Brewing Company.
Holy cow.
It's kind of a destination between Denver and Kansas City. We're halfway between. And I learned a lot about German brewing. Not as much as I'd like when I was there training under the former brewmaster.
Yeah.
So I actually attended Siebel Institute, and I have an advanced brew theory certificate through Siebel Institute. But I was, prior to that, I was in hospitality. I was a bar manager, and I was the GM of the brew pub before I started brewing. So I kind of look at the brewing process from all angles. The marketing perspective, the front of house, I have an understanding of. So when we make the beer, you're always thinking, how does this look? How does this sell? How is this presented? So it works. So I think it really helps me out when you look at the beer from all angles.
Yeah, Scott, what are you guys pouring this weekend at AC Beerfest?
I'm just gonna say easy on your resume, or someone's gonna poach you.
Shit! Hey, man, I'm having a good time, man. I'm not going anywhere.
So we're pouring the Royal Rug, our single decoction Pilsner. We're also pouring our double decoction Helles, which is a beautiful, beautiful beer that, again, I don't have my boots on anymore. I thought I would, but Brendan and Steve have been doing the majority, and Doug now has just come on. So those are really long brew days when they do it, but the outcome is so worth it, especially for me because I don't have to do it. But this beer is unbelievable, and we just got these big 19-ounce dimple mugs that everybody's loving, and we have a nice side pull that gets that slow pour and the dense foam. It's really a beautiful beer. So we have that at the brewery. We're pouring it here today.
Lots of beer-flavored beer.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, that malt character
I haven't
comes
heard
out.
the word hazy yet.
Yeah,
and,
well,
that's great.
We do have our hazies, and when you come from other half, people expect it, and some people
How
say.
much did you get from them?
It was like dog years. You're brewing. When I was there, 24 hours a day, 6 days a week. So it was intense. So I definitely learned a lot in a short amount of time, and they have some talented brewers there. So it was great. So then we have our flagship called What If, which is pretty cool because we got the trademark on it, and then the same day I got the trademark. Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So I can't wait to sue Disney.
Well, actually, I think they put ... after it.
Yeah.
So then that's now theirs.
Yeah.
They
Is
get
that 30%? I don't know. Isn't like 30% creative license? I don't know.
There's got to be something.
There's something to be
Maybe
argued.
if it was $4.
See if you can do a collab for the show launch.
Yeah.
You can't trademark words, but
Yeah.
you can trademark the logo. So just don't use that specific font that they're
Right,
using for it.
exactly.
Yeah, right?
Well,
Or call any of the beers Dr. Strange or anything like that.
Yeah, definitely.
Or maybe
not.
they'll just
we
let
do
us use their characters.
Yeah, we toe the
Or
line.
sell us your license.
Omegang did it with Game of Thrones.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
They were able to pull it off.
Yeah.
Well, to be honest, the Royal Rug, we have an Aladdin reference on the can also. That's a kind of a Big Lebowski themed beer, but it's
really ties the room together.
What if the rug was also the rug from Aladdin? So it ties the whole new world together. Really cool.
Yeah.
So everything's an alternate.
Yeah, there
ending.
goes your collab with Disney right there.
Yeah, there
That's
it
what's
is.
out.
Yeah.
They're like, we'll leave that, but we're going to take the What If.
Yeah.
You get to choose. They're both our properties.
It's a wash.
Yep. And then our last beer is a double IPA, single hop, Pacific Sunrise. We fell in love with this hop. It's first time we ever used it, first time I've tried it, and we just went for it with a single hop, which is a little bit, daring when you don't know really what the hop is going to be. And we developed a relationship with Crosby, and they've been phenomenal.
Are they out west?
Yes,
Yeah,
they're
West
out
Coast
west.
hop.
Yep,
Yeah.
and they're a B Corp boutique hop provider that has the most beautiful hops I think in the world. So
Highest quality pellets I've ever used. Like,
Really?
To be
Wow.
honest, and I look at the quality of the pellet, not just the growing of the hop and the numbers there, but their pellets are so sexy and they work so well. It's taken, as far as I'm concerned, it's taken our great beer to an even higher level. And so we've partnered with them, and we're contracting from them for about 80% of the hops we're using.
Wow. Yeah. Now, do they have other strains, other brands?
Yeah. They do. Yep. Yeah. So even our What If, our flagship, we changed one hop out of it and changed it to Crosby. And I don't even know if I realized it, but when I was drinking that on draft at the bar, I'm like, this What If is really fucking good. And I was like, what changed? And Brendan's like, just the Crosby hop. And
I changed the one hop to their hop, and same hop variety, just a different grower and a different broker, and it's
makes a big difference.
It elevated the product.
Now, does it have more of the juicy notes or the piney notes? What do we?
I think that hop that we use, we don't really reveal that one, but it is a little bit more of the piney, grassy, floral note that you get on that. And I think, even with the New Zealand hop, the Pacific Sunrise, or some of the other single hops, or our Chuckleheads, the 2-hop that we've been doing, we focus on, we're doing juicy IPAs and American citrusy tropical stuff, but we're also doing the floral, the little earthier, the juicy stuff that's a little different than other people are doing. And I think that's being really well received. It's pretty cool. So that's exciting. Our next 2-hop is a New Zealand hop as well, with Nelson and Belma.
I was going to say, so is that in the tanks now? You guys are...
It's in the tanks, yeah. So that's coming up soon.
Cool.
We were really thrilled too. Scott can tell you about the Chuckleheads concept, and then we I don't know if we can call it an endorsement, but I could say a pseudo endorsement from Kevin Smith. I hope so.
It's what if Jay and Silent Bob were Cheech and Chong, and
aren't they the modern day Cheech and Chong?
Yeah, pretty much. They're just brothers, and they're very like-minded in certain ways. So we have a black and white can to pay homage to Clerks. Yep. Yeah. And we showed Clerks when we released it, and Ming did a podcast in our building. It was really cool.
That's cool.
And then recently, when
was it Tell 'em Steve Dave, or was it the what's the other one? He's got the Smodcast. He's got Tell 'em Steve Dave. There's one more. He's got like 3 separate brands.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
He's podcasting it up all day.
He's become kind of a good friend of ours. He pops in all the time, and he's been doing on-location stuff with us, and it's turned into a really cool relationship. That's great.
Yeah,
and I'm surprised he's drinking that much, or at least into that industry after everything that's happened. We went up to a place by us, Huntington, where they released. He did the tour of the not Clerks 2.
The new facility?
The new movie. Kevin Smith released. What the hell was the newest one? It wasn't Clerks 2. What was the
it was the Jay and Silent Bob.
The reboot.
Yeah, the reboot.
Yeah, the reboot.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he came out, saw on stage, doing a little comedy thing, and then you show the movie. It was really
that's
very cool.
Yeah, so when Kevin opened up his new secret stash, one of the photographer, Kevin's photographer and a kind of mutual acquaintance, gave him our can of Clerks, and there's a picture of Kevin holding our can.
Nice.
Yeah, so
that'll be all over Instagram.
Yeah, so that's a pseudo endorsement. If he holds up a can of Chuckleheads and it's like hell yeah, then I think then we're cool. We're good.
Yeah,
I'd be surprised he didn't show up here. He's just walking around like, hey, because Red Tank has the Mobies.
Yes.
Yeah, which is also another great reference.
Absolutely.
And not too many people would understand if you haven't seen Jay and Silent Bob or some of the other ones. Or what was the other one that they worked at? Zach and Miri? They have Mobies on Zach and Miri Make a Porno?
I don't know.
That's just another great reference to them.
Yep.
He's got a lot of beer paying homage to him for sure. You guys, have this awesome weekend. Started off a little rough. What have you guys noticed this year? And you weren't around for the first time around, first one.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I was going to say comparative to previous years, but what have you noticed about this festival, maybe other festivals you've been to or worked at, that is different and positive and negative?
I've got a lot of experience at beer festivals, good and bad. But I think, honestly, when you have a festival this large, there's a lot that goes into the organization, into the staffing, and I think they've done a pretty good job.
Yeah.
Every brewer wants to complain about not having ice, but that's every event. So it is what it is. We got our ice, we're good.
There he is right now. He's transporting the ice around.
But honestly, the people, the staffing, everybody is just awesome. Really laid back, really cool cats, and it's made it very easy to participate in the event. And not only that, but our beer's being very well received. Everybody's digging what we're doing, and so it honestly couldn't be better.
Looking forward to this third session. Are you guys swapping anything out? Anything going to run out and then put a new beer on? Or?
No, so we're doing the 4 beers. The 2 lagers and the 2 IPAs. But we also, I like to do that little event within an event. So in the middle of each session, we're tapping a real special rye imperial stout that we brewed up. Most of that is in some Penelope rye whiskey barrels at the brewery, but we put some in a barrel and we added some Tahitian vanilla beans, and it sat for about a month and we pulled it right out. You get a nice little nuance, but we just wanted to have something special, something that would draw the crowd back and really remember us. So I think that's working. We've got a little bit of that left. We're tapping in the middle of the session, so we're not swapping out what we have, but we're always going to do that little special tapping, within the event.
That's awesome. Nice. Little time releases.
Definitely.
I want you guys to give us the big plug for Alternate Ending. Tell us where everyone can find it, taste room hours, social media, all that stuff.
Yeah, Alternate Ending, Beer Co. It's in Aberdeen, New Jersey. It's about 15 minutes from PNC Arts Center, right close to Matawan train station.
Mm-hmm.
We're open Wednesday through Sunday, and now we're doing beer gardens on Monday with live music. It's really fun. I have an old hot dog cart, so I'm slinging hot dogs on the side.
It's good. It's good.
Yeah, we partnered with Tallulah's Pizza out of Asbury Park.
Yeah,
and
we have had that Tallulah's.
Yep, so they run our kitchen, and they specialize in sourdough. So, but with our location, they do pan pizza, so we do Detroit style and grandma. So it's definitely pretty cool. Wednesday through Sunday. Sunday we just started brunch, and it's Instagram at ACBeerfest.
Yep.
And it's a good time. We show movies every other Wednesday. We have a movie night. We close the curtains, blast the sound, and have a food package. It's just been a really fun, great time. And as much as brew pubs a lot of time are focused on food, we're so focused on beer as well. And to partner with Tallulah's, we can kind of really focus on our beer and let them shine through with their steps of service and the food. So it's really the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
And it's been exciting. And Brendan's a phenomenal brewer, and
thanks, man.
our beer is really trying to be humble. It is fantastic. So
check them out. It's Alternate Ending or AE Beer Co. on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all that other good stuff. Really appreciate it. Scott, Brandon?
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, this is the Word with Mike, Pete, and Steve, GubsRadio.com. We'll be back for session number 3. I was going to say 2, but 2 today, 3 in general. And we'll be back right after this.
Gubs Radio. This is the Wort on Gubs Radio.
This is the Word with Mike, Pete, and Steve. GubsRadio.com. He was kidding. We're here with Andrew and Tom from Fort Nonsense Brewery. Back year 2, baby. We are in the 3rd session of AC Beerfest, live here in Atlantic City on Bader Field.
Oh, God. How do I recover from that?
You don't. Just leave it alone. Pretend like it didn't exist. You guys are all dicks. Appreciate you guys for coming by.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
So much has happened since last we talked, Andrew. So much has gone on. I need the updates. I need to know what the fuck's happening. Don't even. I'm gonna turn your mics off. You're both dicks. You're done. Goodbye. So Andrew, Tom, how's everything going? Things are good.
Yeah. Keep busy.
When they get out of their haze, we'll get back to them. Speaking of haze, we got some beautiful Hazy IPA in full effect here, and I come so long. It's been so long.
Yeah,
come a long way.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about the progression here over the last 2 years.
Yeah, we kind of went more into the sour direction. Okay. We've been doing a lot of sours.
Okay.
I love drinking sours, so I enjoy making them. So I've been doing a lot of that. We've put the In Full Effect out as more of our flagship IPA.
Okay.
We had a West Coast before, but now it's all about the haze.
I like the West Coast.
That's a good one. We have it in the tap room right now.
Okay.
We do it more seasonal, spring, summertime type thing.
Nice.
Really good batch this year. Come out if you like it.
Nice.
But yeah, so we've changed doing a lot of sours, doing a lot of the IPA thing.
Yeah.
We still have an amber ale, pilsner all the time, a porter.
There we go.
But
need to have some sort of variation in that, right?
I'm all about. I do a lot of the sours, and I drink the pilsner all the time. That's what I like.
The Pilsner's in here, right? You brought, all right, so we'll crack that up next.
Yeah.
Give us a little breakdown on In Full Effect. If it's going to be your flagship, it's got to be the thing that sells, right?
So it is a hazy IPA, 6%. It is made with oats, wheat, and a pale malt.
Yeah.
It has Citra, Amarillo, and Simcoe, double dry hopped, early on in fermentation and then post-fermentation. Not a ton of oil hop additions to keep it less bitter. And it's just an easy drinking all day, just have 5 or 6
It
of
is.
them.
It's like 6%, right?
Yeah.
Not bad, yeah.
That's awesome. That's right there.
Yeah.
That's what you want.
The sweet spot.
What else you guys pouring this weekend? I know you said the Pilsner.
Yeah, so we have the Pilsner out at the booth. We have the In Full Effect at the booth. We have a Blood Orange and Sea Salt Gosa called Blood, Sweat, and Tears. That one's really good today.
With
because it's
real
super
baby
hot.
tears, I hear.
Yes.
Real bit, not that synthetic stuff.
Yeah.
It's good.
And then we have...
They make that in China. It's no good.
Bad for the economy, bad for everybody.
We have another sour called Lacto by Nonsense, which is a kind of rotating fruit series. You have a can of it with mango, passion fruit, and guava. Then we're pouring a version of it with blueberry, blackberry, and acai berry.
Oh, shit.
That's so you the prickly pear.
The prickly pear.
We heard about that. I was saying before from someone. We heard. Is it Sheila? Sheila was talking about the prickly pear.
Yes.
It was somebody else, and they brought that up about prickly pear, and then we made the whole joke of prickly pears.
Yeah. It had to be.
It was Sheila.
It was. Sheila and
that
Greg.
we brought a crowler of that one for you.
Yes.
That's kind of like a goza if you swapped the wheat for corn, and then it has prickly pear, hibiscus, lime, and sea salt.
So what? The corn mash, obviously, a lot more sugars in that than the wheat.
Yeah.
Or?
Well, different flavor, different. You know, with the gozas, you get a little bit of the wheat on the back end. This one's a little sweeter on the back.
Have you guys done anything with corn prior to this?
We've done a few Mexican-style lagers with corn.
I find corn too also adds for that nice mouthfeel.
Yeah.
Get that nice foamy head.
Yeah.
Definitely adds to that. Oh yeah.
Yeah. No, I really like the way that one came out.
So you guys, how did you do through the pandemic? We spoke to you pre-pandemic.
Yeah.
What was the movement? What did you guys have to do to kind of get through this and be here again in 2021?
Yeah. Well, do you want to take that one?
Yeah,
Thomas?
sure. Yeah,
Tom will take it.
The founder and sex me. I mean.
Yeah, that's me. We once it all hit, we like everyone else had to pretty much pivot. And
I'm sorry.
I've been saying it all day, and I purposely didn't say it because I had you said it, so I don't feel bad, and that's why
And I'm the dick.
Yeah, no, you did the right thing because it's the alarm now. Anytime I say it, it's going to alarm me. Just wrote.
But we went all takeout. We had one very conveniently placed window in our tap room that we served everything through.
That's awesome.
We were doing deliveries all over the place.
Cool.
We were lucky. We had a canning line we got I think November before the pandemic.
Oh wow, man!
So we were in good shape.
All the things.
Its timing is always of the essence.
Yeah.
Holy
Wow.
shit.
That was we had 3 batches in the fermenter right when everything shut down, and we had planned to keg most of it.
Yeah.
And like the Tuesday or Thursday that Murphy announced that everything was shutting down, I was like, well, I guess we should order more labels then. And then we just put everything into cans.
Yeah. I mean, that was the big thing. Everyone was talking about not so much the can as much right away, the label shortage and the backlog for the companies to get all those out because everyone was going to can with what they had.
Yeah, there was one time we needed labels super quickly, and it was a company in right over the border in New York, and our rep Bob is awesome. And I called him and I was like, I need labels by Friday, and it was like on a Monday. And he was like, normally while I can do that, we just shut the entire plant down because half the people have COVID.
Oh shit!
Yeah. So unfortunately, we did not get them by that Friday.
So what'd you guys do with the beer? Did you crowler?
We did more in crowlers and just waited until the label showed up.
You put duct tape and you write on it.
Yeah, pretty much. I wish we could do that. That would be so much easier.
You don't even need to write the ABV on it, apparently.
Yeah,
it's just like, whatever, here it is.
Fucking, there you go.
I'll draw the UPC label and
exactly.
thick and
put
thin
a bunch of lines.
Numbers to go with it. You guys were here in 2019 with us.
Yeah.
Besides, obviously, what we're seeing right now, what do you think about the new version 2.0 of AC Beerfest?
I like it, but it's a lot of walking.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
We put a lot of miles.
Yeah.
Everyone gets to walk off their beer here.
Yeah.
We've heard mixed emotions.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's very well spread out.
Yeah.
A lot of room to move. Not as big of lines because of the reduced capacity.
Yeah.
But yet, because everything is spread out, you're not going to get to some of the stuff. You're going to miss something somewhere.
There's still a bunch of. This is the third session. There's a bunch of breweries we haven't even hit yet.
We've been walking nonstop in between sessions with people, trying to hit as many as we can, and not even close.
My phone, my watch shut off. It's like you're done walking for today, bro.
Just take the day
We're
off.
We're done. You don't have to walk again for a month.
We're done. I like the idea. The concept is great. I think it's the same thing. It's a lot of walking. So to even get to you guys, which would have been probably like 5 to 10 minute maybe walk.
Yeah.
Now it's like a 15 to 20 minute walk. It depends, I guess how you look at it. But I think a lot of people, and we were sitting down and eating dinner and saying, how weird is it? It feels normal again.
It really
no one
does.
in masks, I mean, maybe 1 or 2 now.
Yeah.
Just because they're being respectful. But nobody, outdoors, everyone, Kelsey Grammer shook our hand. No worries, everything was fine.
Yeah, it's
that's Mike's way of saying we talked to Kelsey Grammer.
We talked to Kelsey Grammer.
It's actually amazing, though, because think about last week before all the governors decided to really open it up.
Yeah.
We were everywhere we went, even going into like your guys' tasting rooms or whatever. Everybody was wearing a mask, and you fucking sat down before you took it off. And now all of a sudden, today or this weekend, we're all hanging out with no mask, and like fucking nothing ever happened. It is. It's really freaking me out just a little bit.
When we first, when Mike first told us we were, we'd gotten the invite again and we were going to go do it, I flat out told him, like, if I'm not fully vaccinated, I'm not going.
Yeah.
Like, that's.
Would you still feel that way at this point?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
It's good. I would probably feel the same way, but
it's
the other thing I get
too big of a risk to.
But we're outdoors.
Yeah, but
I'm not going to get into
close to that many people.
Logistics of it, but you're right.
Yeah.
And so it's even right there. You're online for the bathroom.
Right.
Someone's right up on your back.
Yeah.
I got you.
Get alcohol involved. Make poor decisions.
Right. Very poor decisions throughout the day.
Like the kielbasa for lunch.
Poor decision number one. Followed up with a burrito bowl at night.
Yes.
The burrito bowl was the better decision.
I'm not too sure about that.
Well, we'll find out in an hour.
Yes, we will.
That line ain't going away for a long time, buddy.
And
take a walk back for
bro. And as the very, very first thing that was said in our little John here was, "You're gonna go shit in the field."
Dude, I just went to the porta potties. The lady walked out before me. She's like, "Oh, you got the good one. That one in the middle is a fucking mess."
That's a peony.
Good one. I was like, all right. I got the great fucking portable shitter. That sounds
nice.
Thanks, lady.
The best of the best.
Put a little gold star on the front fucking door.
So you obviously saw, the big difference between indoors and outdoors.
Yeah.
What kind of stood out to you today or yesterday that really made a difference, brewery-wise or just event-wise? Kind of what was the big thing?
It's not nearly as loud.
Fair, yes.
Okay.
You know what?
Yeah.
Great point, because we were in a room,
Yeah.
pretty much a very large room, and the concert was still just as loud.
Oh.
Yeah. And they had the main stage, and then you have the acoustic stage,
Yep.
and then they have another stage with like a brass band, and it's all within this super tight.
Actually, I think
space.
our interview, we were all just yelling into the microphones. I was dead by the end of that session. And I went, this is ridiculous. You're right.
But now here, by the time you get to like Bolero's booth, you can barely hear the band.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It starts dissipating with all the people and the absorption of their bodies. And
you get a good gust of wind, and that takes all the sound away.
Unless it turns on you, and then you get
then
that all of a
comes
sudden.
in,
Then you get the shit smell that Pete bypassed. That's fine.
Yeah.
All right.
I will say about
It's the
that,
middle.
where are the vendor bathrooms?
There are none this year.
There are none.
There
And
were
remember,
supposed
we
to
had
be.
our own bathroom
Yeah.
that last time. It was right behind our thing. So we had a bunch of the guests. They're like, "Can we just use the bathroom?" I'm like, fuck it. Go. There's nobody in it. It's one bathroom. There was only like 10 or 12 of us at the time. Very
the
underused.
best one in the place,
It's
yeah.
the best one in the place. You're absolutely right. But yeah, no, we gotta go with the sheep. We gotta go in the same potty.
Yeah.
What have you noticed from the people? Good to be out. You see a lot of enjoyment. What's the vibe out there in the crowd?
Everyone seems excited to be here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone's looking forward to getting out, and for us, it's the first time we've been out. And well, you went to a beer fest a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Did you go to the barbecue?
Yeah, the beer bacon barbecue.
cool.
I was at.
How was that?
That was a good one.
Yeah.
How was the
That-
bacon?
Good. Bacon's always
Of
good.
course, Peter.
I mean, he said it like you'd be a communist if you fucking told me bacon was bad. So
That one,
And barbecue.
like half the people were wearing masks, half weren't, but that was before they said you don't have to.
was it outdoors?
It was,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. But you're right. That was before they dropped everything.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
like
yeah.
here I have a mask in my backpack, and I was like, I mean,
Yeah,
I
we
guess
do
if
too.
everyone else is
Yeah, I
doing
brought up.
it,
Yeah,
but
that was in the same boat.
yeah.
We walked into, like Dunkin' Donuts, 7-Eleven, and we went to Kane on the way up here.
Okay.
And we're like, what's everyone doing?
Yeah.
And then we kind of vibe it from there and see what happens.
Yeah.
It's a fucked up time.
It's weird.
It's
I
weird.
almost
It is
feel
super
like
weird.
putting my mask on and just fucking start walking around and seeing the
watching people.
looks I get from
Yeah.
people. Look at this fucking asshole with the
Unvaccinated son of a bitch.
fucking asshole.
There was one guy in the crowd for less than Jake with a mask.
I
on.
saw him. Yeah. Was it the guy with all the checkers van stuff? Because he had a matching
Yeah.
mask with
Did
that
he
too.
really?
He
I
did.
did not see that part.
That was
That
awesome.
is commitment.
Yeah.
I walked around the pit. I didn't see anybody. I was looking for anyone that I recognized to fucking jump around with a little bit, and I didn't see anybody. It was a great show. I mean,
It was.
And same thing. I'm anxious to see face to face. Haven't seen them in God knows how long. The concert lineup was great. I was
Yeah.
disappointed. Goldfinger wasn't coming on the show.
Goldfinger, Newfound Glory. I was super
Yeah,
excited for.
it was a great lineup as well. I mean, equally as good for anyone who likes what we have. Suicide Machines I haven't seen in a while either, so another great
I feel like I've
It's
seen
too bad
some-
Metallica didn't play this year.
Oh, shut your mouth.
Yeah. They're too busy still suing Napster.
They settled it. They settled
Oh,
it.
did
Finally.
They did.
30 years later.
$38 later.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's how much it cost at this time. Their music was so watered down at that point. And then Hardwired came out, and everyone's like, nah, who gives a shit?
Oh, I love that album.
So do I. It's one of the few albums I like.
Death Magnetic.
No, I liked Hardwired. Hardwired was good. First 5 tracks were delicious.
But what about that new Hanson fucking album coming out?
I mean, just hit after hit after
35
hit.
years
Just
old.
keeps coming at you.
They're almost grandparents by now.
Fuck you. They're 35 years old. Jesus.
Yeah. 1994.
Wow.
What the
Yeah, and
fuck?
the oldest one was like 18 in 1994.
But
to do the math.
is their brewery still open?
Wait, they had a brewery?
They had a fucking brewery.
They did?
No
They
way.
invested in a brewery
Yep.
probably about 10 years ago.
Really?
Yes.
I had
Was
no
it Faith
idea.
American?
We're on the air. Stop it.
You know, I'm
We
going to
love you,
punch you
Kelsey.
in the face as much as we... No.
What was that?
That was the chair over there. They're fucking having a chair fight like, I don't know, it's like WrestleMania over there. I don't know what's going on.
Did you guys try did you try Kelsey Grammer's beer?
Yeah.
What'd you think?
It was pretty fucking good.
It
actually.
was. I liked it. I had it a couple months ago, and I was like, yeah, it's okay. But it was much better here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His IPA was really good.
Yes,
I did
yes,
not
yes.
have that one yet.
We said the same
Yeah.
thing. Because, again, you know, you see a celebrity like this, you're like, he's just in it for the money.
Yeah.
Even though you're not going to fucking make money.
That's why I want to ask the why question. Like, why are you doing this? Because it's definitely not for the fucking money. Like,
but he gave us the reason.
Yeah. And you can see it right here on the Wort. The
I don't think he
podcast.
gives.
A rat's ass?
It's definitely not about the beer.
No, absolutely not.
It's,
he just wanted to do something.
He said
might
it's
have been
all
bored.
about giving back to the community.
Yeah, right. It's about doing
That's the
something with
brewery's
that
in.
land.
Yes.
It was interesting.
And the beer,
Again, beer was good.
And he said, I want it to be a beer that anybody could drink.
Not something nice and approachable.
Not a beer snob. Not just anybody any day could just pick it up and be like, oh, I'm not offended by this. Like, you know, it doesn't have all these adjuncts. And I do have to say he was probably one of the most genuine, nicest person.
Yeah.
That's a celebrity that I've ever met. And the only other person I ever met was Andrew Dice Clay.
Oh.
And he spit on me and
we got to hear that story
so
later.
that's how that went.
Yeah.
But anyway,
we got to hear that one later.
I'm going to crack the Pilsner here.
Nice.
Get going on this. So break us down on the Lola. Break it down.
So the Lola's just a clean, crisp, easy to drink Pilsner,
Yes,
named
please.
after my puppy.
Oh, see, now you got us. What type of dog?
Yeah,
She
now we have puppy questions.
she's a Staffordshire Boxer Lab mix.
That's kind of right up
That is
where I
a
am.
lot of energy right there.
Oh yeah.
What's the coat? what color's the coat?
She's brindle.
Yeah!
Exactly like
Oh,
her.
shit,
Yeah.
nice.
Well, our
Yeah.
artist designed the can after her.
Oh,
We
you
sent
did?
her a picture, and she.
Oh, I'm going to keep that can because
Yeah.
that's awesome. That's my dog. I get
Oh,
it.
nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, she's a little over 2 years old.
Okay.
She is a giant ball of energy and always stressed
How much
out.
does she weigh at this point?
She unfortunately broke 50 pounds, so she costs more money when you bring her places.
Yeah.
She's like 52 pounds.
I got 42. I don't keep that bitch on a diet.
I had to call my dog a fat fuck in the middle of PetSmart the other day because he broke 80 pounds.
Oh, jeez.
Because my wife won't stop fucking feeding the
From the table,
tubby
yeah.
bitch.
Not your wife.
Not my wife.
The dog.
No. The dog.
Whoa,
We're live on
whoa.
Instagram, Terry. Sorry.
That was a fine fucking line right there, children.
You have to be very
I was
distinct and
specific.
clear. All right, good.
Oh, by the way,
I read the Riot Act about it.
Oh, by the way, we don't want the beer. We're just gonna sit over here. We're fucking okay. We don't need the beer. It's fine.
All right, break this down for us. The Pilsner. What do we got?
So it's Pilsner malt, a little bit of Vienna malt.
Oh, that's great.
Some, traditional American hops in there. Not super hoppy, just nice, clean, easy.
Yeah.
Pounds of back all day.
I've been having
that
I've
right
having
there,
a lot of
bro.
luck with the Pilsners and the lagers
that.
I've had here. We had from Alternate Ending had a terrific Pilsner and a Helles.
Yeah,
and this is
I only had their Pilsner. It was really solid.
It was really, really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then 3 Threes has one of my favorite here.
We got to go. That's one of the ones I wanted to hit. I don't
Yeah.
know if we can get them on, but I definitely wanted to hit them up.
Yeah.
Heard some great things, and
That
they stopped by
Pilsner's
one
awesome.
of the other booths. And
I'm just a crispy boy.
Oh, hell yeah!
singing
Dude.
because you love the beers.
Mid-May to through October, I am crispy boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was the idea, right? I mean, we're getting into that
that's
season
cool.
and trying to get right into it.
Yeah, we have this one. We had we called it an American ale.
Okay.
It was kind of, lager-ish, Kolsch.
Lager-ish. Lager adjacent.
Yeah, pretty much. So
Taro.
we dropped that one and we came out with the Pilsner. We
cool.
did it. Actually, we did that right at the beginning of COVID. That's one of the 3 batches. We just threw it together a label, and I threw my dog's face on it on the original one.
I mean, that's a winner right there.
Yeah, it was like the dog's on it. People will want to buy it.
Fuck yeah.
And it sold so fast. And then I was like, let's do it again. If it sells equally as fast, maybe we do a real label.
She's so happy.
Yeah.
She's just so happy.
Yeah, what a good girl.
Such a good girl.
So then we did it, and now we always have it. It's a great beer.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I gotta know what is, and we had this discussion before. Fort Nonsense. What's the premise behind the name?
Well, Fort
We
Nonsense
talked
is
about it before.
yeah.
We have new audience every show, so break that down.
It's
Pass it
throwing
to
it to
you.
me.
Found the sex machine. And,
So you were doing this porno.
and
It was only wet work, though. It's just wet work. It's fine. I had to bring the term out. I knew
that was good.
So when we were getting started, we wanted to do something with a local connection. You know, we all grew up in the Morris County area, Rockaway.
Okay.
So in Morristown, there's it's a national park now, but way back in the day when George Washington was there with the Continental Army, 1770 sometime, they were there for the winter, and he had them build this fort up on one of the highest hills. Beautiful view. If you go there now, the fort's not there anymore. It's just they got a cannon and
a memorial or something like that. Yeah,
but it's go up in the fall. It's beautiful. But after the war, the story got out that he had them build it just to keep them out of trouble, keep them from drinking, going out in town.
Fort Nonsense.
So they called it Fort Nonsense.
That's awesome. I knew I remembered that story, and I'm like, I know where this is going. It is good.
I like it.
And I like the branding of it with the cannon and everything, and just keep it kind of not simple, but yet recognizable. And what do you guys have going on right now in the tanks? What's in there? What's brewing? What's coming out? What's exciting? What gets you up and makes you go in the morning?
Well, right now we have...
Besides crack and cocaine.
Yeah. We're going to need it after a long week.
We have more of the lacto and the blood orange ghost that we brought. We need to stock back up on our staples, so we're brewing a lot of those coming up because I feel like I turn around and they're gone.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, they're good problems.
Yes.
Past that, I don't know how far I've gotten. That's the problem.
A lot of our recent brewing was
for this.
Get stuff out for AC, and then we'll figure the rest out later.
The 2 sours we have, I brewed last week.
Okay.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I packaged the lacto. I filled the kegs on Thursday.
Now you guys are doing Kettle Sours?
Fresh.
We are actually using a Lalaman strain yeast that produces lactic acid while it ferments, and it doesn't infect the tanks, and it's amazing.
That's awesome.
That is different. We haven't heard that.
Yeah. No, it's starting to. It's still there. It hasn't been patented yet, so they're not. It's not super out there, but it's out there enough.
Well, now it is.
Yeah.
It's on Instagram Live, and it should be heard.
What company is this from?
Lallemand.
Oh,
they do a
Lallemand.
lot of dried yeast stuff. Yeah. But that stuff it's great. We were doing Kettle Sours before, but that was eating up the production space.
Yes.
You start on a Monday, finish on a Wednesday.
Yep.
And this
Too much
one
time.
And it's like, I would like to brew another fucking beer, but
two
exactly.
at that point.
Yeah.
With Tuesday, Wednesday, you can knock out 2 more.
But now we can turn it around super fast. It's a really clean ferment.
Awesome.
It produces a lot of lactic acid, drops the pH way down there.
That's
and
awesome.
I like super sour.
Now, with the tasting room just opening up again, right? I mean, it's been open, but kind of restricted capacity. Are you still looking now to move forward with like events and stuff like that, going back to normal times?
Yeah, some more normal things, but we're also in the process of moving.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
From your building?
Yes, we're moving to a bigger facility.
Oh, that's always a good.
Another one of those good problems.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, we just made the announcement this past week. It's under 2 miles from our current space.
What are we going from? What are we going to, size-wise?
Well, we're going to be using a forklift literally to go down the block to drop off the tanks.
Right now, we have about 2,500 square feet, and we're going to just about under 5,000, something like that.
Nice.
About double the size,
Yeah.
Bigger
Much
cold
bigger,
room, more storage space,
More production
tanks,
space.
more production,
tanks, right?
larger
more
ceilings.
tap room space, more everything.
More everything.
16 taps instead of 8.
Oh wow.
So, yeah. Essentially
great.
just doubling everything, hopefully.
Might as well while you have the space.
Double the money, double your fun.
More outdoor space.
A real beer garden instead of just a couple tables thrown on the sidewalk.
I was going to say, so
which is what we currently have.
I know the layout of the current tap room.
Yeah.
You got much more space to be outside, larger outdoor
Yeah, nice
area.
big lawn out front.
Oh, brilliant.
It'll
great.
be, yeah.
What size brew house are you?
We're keeping the same brew house.
Okay.
We're
Okay.
going to
For
upgrade
now.
our mash tun so that we can do, better, quicker turns. Get a 15 barrel fermenter or 2 triple batch into them.
Okay.
So stuff
Just
like that, but keep
line
the
them
same
up,
5 barrel. Yeah.
Good. Awesome.
Guys using uni tanks or are you?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just every time we've thought about bright tanks, I'm like, yeah, but
it's taking up space.
But
God
if
damn
you
it!
get a unit tank, you can use it like a bright tank. But
Yes,
if you're in
you
a
can.
pinch, and then we got a unit tank to do that with, and I've only brewed into it, and I've never used it as a bright tank. So.
But that's how it works.
Yeah, exactly. That's how they get you. It's
Yes.
like, oh no, you could totally
No,
do it
you
like
could do
this,
it, bro.
Yeah, and then after you buy it and never do it, they're like, oh well, I guess I need a bright tank then. Sorry.
And we have
And we
those.
will-
have
and we will
plenty
sell
of
it to
those.
you.
Yeah, exactly.
Double the cost this time around.
Yeah.
Metal doesn't come cheap, sir.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. So you guys moving? What's the set date for that full move? And what are you going to do? Are you going to shut down in between? And what's
We're gonna
the
keep.
transition plan?
We're hoping to time it well, where we'll stock up on a bunch of stuff in the current space, decommission all our tanks, move them over to the new space, get them back up and running, and start brewing there, and have enough beer in the old space to hold us over.
Just overbrew.
Because we won't be able to use our same tap tower. We won't be able to use a lot of the same stuff there. We have a brand new cold room, so we can't take all that stuff with us.
And
because-
inevitably you're going to run into something that's going to go wrong.
something's going to happen.
know
It's
it's
going to
gonna
hold
happen.
us up somewhere.
Yeah, so just over-prepare for what's going to happen.
Some inspector is going to be. You can't do that. That's.
That's the other thing. Yeah.
I'm
We've been
hoping
through that.
October.
Yeah.
Thomas is hoping September. If we can meet in the middle, I just hope it doesn't go past that. I don't know. Sometime in the fall is what we're saying.
All right.
Okay.
Good.
It's in progress right now.
Yeah. We're currently doing the building.
But the key is expansion, and that's great
Yes.
to
Oh,
hear.
yeah. Moving up.
Now the way things have been
Coming out of the pandemic, thinking,
yes.
growing, doubling your space. That's a success story. That's great.
Definitely not a bad thing.
It was.
I
Whenever
smell
anyone
weed.
asks, I say I can't complain because a lot of people had it a lot worse than we did.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, and several places closed in New Jersey. I mean, it's kind of a
restaurants
shame.
got hit really hard.
Yeah.
At least breweries, for
And
the
then
most
it
part, were-
actually ran downhill because your contracts dipped, and it was what are you going to do?
Yeah.
It's a tough transition, but it looks like you guys weathered the storm and moving up forward, if not benefited from the whole process, just to kind of.
The home deliveries were a lifever. It was me and our dad were doing deliveries, and
The rest-
every single day we would
The
come
rest of
back.
us were doing deliveries.
Well, yeah, you can
Saturdays, Sundays.
To be fair, they all have other jobs, so they couldn't be there during the weekdays, so that's why. But we would load up once before 1 o'clock, go out, do like 15 stops each, and then come back and load up again and go back out, and it was a lot of that in the beginning.
Now, are you guys still doing those? And do you want that to
We
stick around?
are still doing home deliveries within 15 miles of our tap room, which is a surprisingly large amount of space. In 15 miles, the way it calculates is in a straight line.
Yeah.
So it's like 40 miles of driving, but you're still within 15 miles of us, and we've just been doing it because why not? We are still doing it. It's a $36 minimum, which is about 3-4 packs, or 2 4-packs, a couple crowlers maybe. It's not that much.
A couple double IPAs.
Yeah,
good to go.
And this is all online.
Yeah, it's all on our website. I would love if home delivery stuck around. It's a nice extra little boost.
We
And
haven't
liquor
seen
stores
it
can do
disappear
so
from
why
New
not?
York, so I feel like Jersey follows suit with that.
Yeah,
it just seems like we've already done it. It works.
Yeah,
it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
No 16-year-olds are ordering it and picking up at the door.
Did we make any more alcoholics than we wouldn't have otherwise?
Exactly. So you might as well keep it. It's just an extra revenue stream.
Look, if DoorDash could bring me McDonald's at fucking 2 in the morning,
No shit, right?
Or Taco Bell, you could
How is
bring me
this
a
any
fucking
unhealthier?
4-pack of fucking
Something delicious.
in full effect. Okay.
What do you guys foresee for the future besides the move? Besides beyond that, what's going to happen, kind of moving forward?
Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
We're hoping to expand distribution throughout the whole state.
Oh, you are looking at it.
Yeah.
Good. Cool.
Yeah, so we
Next step.
actually signed with a distributor right before the pandemic hit.
Yeah.
We signed with them in November, had like 2 good months, and then COVID.
Yeah.
So coming back from that, but they
And
have
COVID.
the whole state, so that's been really good for us. So yeah, just get more beer out into the world. is what we're hoping to do.
That's great to hear, man.
I want you guys to give us the big plug. Tell us where people can find you. Give us the address, tasting room hours, and all social media stuff.
Yeah. And what pornos you're in.
I'm gonna look them up.
What does your IMDb page look like?
Well, we are Fort Nonsense. We are in Denville, New Jersey, 3118 Route 10 West, right off a highway. We are open right now Tuesday through Sunday. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. It's 4 to 10. Saturday, 12 to 10. Sunday, 12 to 6, I think.
Sounds reasonable.
Yeah.
The most places you could find us, Mars County area, in New Jersey. Boot and Liquor Outlet, they usually carry us. Dover, Rockaway, ShopRite if you're right there.
Independently distributing, or is that still?
That's still through the distributor.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. They just always take our stuff in, which is great.
That's awesome.
Follow us Instagram, Facebook. We do have a Twitter.
That's what everyone said. We have a Twitter. We don't.
Everybody says it. We have a Twitter, but
we occasionally post on it. My wife does it all. So she'll put up on Twitter sometimes.
There are some things where you can just mirror your post.
Yeah,
not
she does
Facebook
that.
and
I don't
Instagram,
know.
but there's on YouTube. If you did anything, you could kind of go to Twitter.
No, we don't do
with
any YouTube. I made a TikTok account for us a while ago to get the name, and then have done absolutely nothing with it.
Yeah, secure the name so no one else takes it and fucks around with your business. So
and
then every so often, just do a little dance.
I figure no one wants to see me dancing and doing all the trend things.
Not true. Not true.
You don't sell yourself short.
No.
There's an OnlyFans for us guys coming out soon, so don't worry about it.
Oh, yeah?
There'll be a lot of money to be made out there, I promise you. I mean, look around. There's always somebody for somebody.
You dance, you have the porn star behind you. It's fucking gold.
Fantastic. Guys, really appreciate it. Angie, Tom, always a good time. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Excited to see big things from you, and hopefully when you get distribution up into the New York area, we'll have you back on the show, and we'll talk about that and try to get the word out.
Yeah, sounds good. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so
This
much.
is The Word with Mike, Pete, and Steve, GovsRadio.com here on Session 3 AC Beerfest 2021, Baderfield Live.
Govs Radio. This is The Wort on Govs Radio.
This is The Word with Mike, Pete, and Steve, GovsRadio.com, live here at AC Beerfest, Session 3, getting towards the end of the night, but we have our friends in-house without Jay from Jughandle. We got Greg, we got Sheila.
Yes.
Hi, guys.
Ireland.
All your motherfuckers in the house.
Face-to-face is on stage for anyone that's listening in the background. They are providing the tunes tonight.
Who?
Face-to-face. That's the headliner band
He's
tonight.
such a jackass.
You are. You really are. Wow. Guys,
Destiny hit inflamed.
how are we feeling tonight?
You feeling good?
I'm feeling way more sober than I did last night.
Yeah.
I will remember all of this currently.
As of right now.
Right.
Currently. Sheila will update you tomorrow.
There's still a long time to go.
It's a long ways.
Yeah.
We got a long trail ahead of us.
49 and ready to fuck shit up.
Yeah.
Now, you guys are going to Emo Night in Brooklyn, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we are.
We hate you.
Alex and, I forget the other guys. They were
Ani?
supposed to be on the show. No.
Yes.
No, Alex and Ani?
No.
Right.
Not the bracelet company. They were supposed to be on the show. They were actually here for less than Jake, and I forgot to text them. That's on me, not on you guys, but they put on a great show. Excited to go out and
looking
listen.
forward to it.
Yeah.
It's going to be like a club atmosphere. It's outside, right?
Yes.
Yes.
On the boardwalk.
Yeah.
600 people, he said.
Real 600?
Get the fuck
Yes.
out.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Well, because he said that they just kept inviting people to come, and they're like, even if you can't get in, you're still going to hear the music.
From the
so
boardwalk
Just,
and
hang out on the boardwalk.
Yeah, bowls and wieners.
Come party. Come party.
Bowls and
I don't know. Emo Night brings a lot of women there. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
The ladies do
Oh.
like.
Hold on a second.
Let me shape up a little bit.
Yes.
Get these brows in order.
Oh, good Lord.
We never even talked about what you guys were pouring at the festival. I'm excited to.
Do you know, Greg?
Yes, Sheila. So we are pouring today our Beach Please Summer Ale.
Yes.
Which is our golden summer ale. We're doing our Death or Glory Raspberry Lemonade Sour.
Okay.
Our Grandma Kisses Blueberry Sour. And our Ink Series, which is Ink Series #1 New England Double IPA.
That was terrific. Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah,
And the Ink Series was kind of a cool concept. It was actually a pre-COVID idea, but we had to scrap it because of COVID, so we brought it back for 2021, which was going out to tattoo artists that we honestly follow on Instagram, that we just love like their work, and going to them and saying, you can do whatever you want. We're going to tell you the style of beer, and it can have something to do with it or nothing to do with it. It's your call.
Yeah.
It just can't be so offensive that, like, give me a nun fucking a priest that I can't put it on a can.
Right.
Yeah. So outside of that, you do whatever the fuck you want. It's about the artisticness of it, and we're going to do release the brewery, and we're going to just tie the whole thing together because of the art side of it, which we love.
Yeah.
So we had kind of grouped up with 4 different artists. One is one of my personal very good friends and tattoo artist, which Irish Jay. He's done our hooligan artwork, right?
Such great work.
So I love Jay, and honestly, Jay is probably and this is not a negative, but he's probably the least popular guy, like Instagram-wise, of the group. We got Popo Tattoo, which he's out of West Babylon, and Po is he's a Chinese artist. Actually, I didn't know when I met him that I went to the shop to talk to him about the project, and he actually grew up tattooing with Irish Jay. At Tattoo Loose, and he's like, and he's got a little bit of a broken English accent. And he's like, I used to fucking go out and crush Guinness with fucking Jay on lunch. And I was like, do you like beer? And he's like, fuck yeah, I love fucking beer. And his work is insane. Yeah. And actually, Sheila went and did like a photo shoot for the series at his shop. Cool. And when he goes back to Asia, he gets $1,000 an hour, right, to tattoo.
Yeah.
Wow. He's
the
way more
big over there.
Yeah, he is like one of the most major tattoo artists in Asia. So when he goes back, he gets $1,000 an hour to tattoo.
You're probably cheaper to fly
here,
yes. Down here, and pay him, and then fly back, and you'd be good.
Yeah.
So we had Irish Jay out of Miller Place, Popo out of West Babylon, Purge Tattoo out of Oceanside, and Purge is a very anime, cartoon based. So they're all very, very different styles, right? So we kind of gave so Purge, who he's again very, very deep in like Japanese anime, very cartoon. We're doing a key lime sour that's in the tanks right now.
Oh, nice.
That's gonna come out. So he did this. It's kind of a Mickey Mouse-esque, right? Would you say, Sheila? Right?
Yeah,
Mickey
Mouse-esque.
Not crossing any copyrights.
Lime, sitting in a tree, playing an acoustic guitar, like all very, very different vibes, right? So I was actually on vacation when Poe sent me his art. He was the first one in the series. And I was at dinner, Super Bowl Sunday, in Aruba. I open my email, I go, oh my God, what the fuck am I going to do with this? I said they can do whatever the fuck they want, and I'm looking at it and go, I can't fucking do anything with this.
What can you tell us about the original?
Yeah, so it was this goth girl with a choker collar on, looking through the reels of a cassette tape, and then but it was like almost like 3 panes. So that was the center pane. The side pane then was just like a neon happy face, like if you're on acid, like with trails tripping out, like depth wise. Yeah. And the third side was what? And it was like just like
graffiti. It was like graffiti
like
with
neon
light
graffiti graphics.
Yeah.
Same thing, like almost trippy, like layered, like traily, like. And I'm like, what am I gonna do with this? It's a beer label. Yeah. And so I sat there and I just marinated for like an hour, and I'm like, an hour in, I'm like, I fucking dig it. Yeah. I dig it. I mean, my wife's like, I hate that shit. It's awful. I'm like, fuck you. You're not the beer business. Yeah. You're not my demographic. You're a white fucking 50-year-old female. You're not my demographic.
Right.
But honestly, it just I had to take a step back because it wasn't about me. That was the spirit of the project. The spirit of the project was the artist doing whatever the hell they wanted to do and putting that on a can.
That's awesome.
Did they get to name it as well?
We decided no names. Everything is numerical. So it's Inked 1, Inked 2, Inked 3, Inked 4.
Right.
And if the series, which we think will get legs, will go next year, it'll be
5, 6, 7, 8.
Numerically forward.
That's
and we'll look for different series for it. But we just felt it's such a cross vibe, right? Like the tattoo industry, tattoo vibe, the whole culture of it, the artistic. And for me, like, again, I'm going to be 50 this year, but album art was our artwork.
Yeah,
as
man.
A kid.
Yeah,
that doesn't exist anymore. And to me, now that art is tattoos, right? Because tattoos have now are mainstream. They're mainstream for years, right?
Everyone has them.
Yeah. I'll take it a step further. Album art to me is on a beer label now.
Okay.
Right, and that's how we look at it. The can art is the album art.
Right. That's a lot of leg art.
Yes.
And the Grandma's Kisses and the Death or Glory, those are from the 10 Years, 10 Beer series, right? Both.
So Grandma was kind of a rogue one that we just did on our own. The Death or Glory was a 10-year that was a revisit, definitely, yeah. So that was one that just stuck, and people love it, and honestly, it's a great. We do it in our slushy
like
machine.
King Celtic.
Oh, there it is.
The other one.
I sold
when
those
does that come out
slushies.
again?
That one's not out. That's not on the calendar this year.
What? Oh wait, would you say King Celtic?
Yeah.
You motherfuckers.
That was such a goddamn good beer.
Such a good beer.
It really
we went out and sought that one out. Even after the fact, we found someone that had it like those 2 months old. I'm like, I don't give a shit.
It was a malt bomb, but honestly, you don't get a lot of malt bombs these days.
That's my wheelhouse. Yeah.
No, for me though, and this was it maybe 3 years ago? I remember having Celtic ale, but it was in a bourbon barrel.
Yeah, we did it.
And you guys had it for an anniversary, and I stopped in, and Dan was like, "Oh no, hey, what do you want?" And I'm like, "No, well, what do you fucking think I want? I want the fucking Celtic in the fucking bourbon barrel." And I just sat there, I was like, "Oh, you dicks! This is so
Honestly,
good, man."
One of my favorite beers of my entire life that I've ever drank was original before I was ever in the beer industry. Customer going to Blue Point every Fridays. They did ESB in their bourbon barrels on fucking cask on the hand pump engine. And I'm telling you, it was one of the greatest beers I've ever had in my life. And I will die with that statement. It was fucking magical.
And how much did you pay for that beer?
Not enough.
Not enough. We paid like nothing.
Nickels.
Hey, can I get a taster of that? And you threw a few bucks on the fucking.
Jess would give you pull you a fucking pint.
Oh my God, yes.
Honestly, one of the greatest beers I've ever had. It was just ESB is such a I love ESBs, and it's a terrible style to sell in the marketplace, right?
Yeah.
But from a beer drinker's beer standpoint, it hits so many marks, and then you put that shit on a bourbon or a whiskey barrel for a year, 2 years, and then you put that on cask on top. It just hits. If you're a beer drinker, it hits every fucking mark that you want. Like every flavor profile, everything you can hit on your tongue.
And what people don't realize, Blue Point started off grassroots. Small little shack in the middle of nowhere.
Yes.
And look how they built up because of things like that and the popularity of
two guys that had no business doing what they were doing, pretty much, which is like how every other brewery has started since. And that's why, honestly, is that I will always have love for those guys. I understand people hate the corporate AB side of it. I get that. But you know what? There was many years that they were not those guys.
No.
And they honestly paved the fucking roads for
Absolutely,
guys like us,
for Long
guys
Island
like
beer.
Steve, guys, all of us. Honestly, it's not even Long Island beer. It's New York beer. It's Northeast beer. You go to the guys at Yards that are in fucking Philly. Those guys were fucking growing up with the Pete and Mark at Blue Point. They were burning the same fucking grass at the same time. So I will always have love for them because I was a customer first. Started in 2000, going to the tasting room every Friday. I worked right around the corner, like they were 2 years in business, but saw the progression of it, and I will never, and still, because there's so many people that work there that still work there. Alan Brady, Jim Richards, guys that honestly were heroes to us as homebrewers coming up. That I understand it's a corporate world, but you know what? Thank God they have health care. Thank God they have a pension. Thank God they have a fucking steady paycheck. And they can still smoke weed. Good stuff.
with the middle finger up as they're doing it.
Absolutely.
Making money.
Absolutely. So I will always have Blue Point love, honestly. I will.
Who can blame you? I mean, they like you said, paved the way for so many of the reason why Long Island beer scene is the way it is.
Absolutely.
If it wasn't for them, I don't know if maybe
I would not be here.
Yeah, you would not
definitely
be here.
not.
Nope. For sure.
And you know, it's. I remember it was the very first bus tour they did into Manhattan. They just got picked up, and they were in the Ginger Man, Blind Tiger, and I forgot. And we went on this fucking bus, a bunch of savages, and we had 2 kegs in the back, and we went from place to place. And I never forget getting off the bus and the bus driver going, "You motherfuckers, I am not taking this fucking bus back." Of course, it was just beer and throw up and just everything. And actually, I'll never forget, Mark was like, we almost, the 3 bars that we went to almost said, "We don't want your beer no more," because we were a bunch of fucking drunken douchebags from Long Island.
So good.
Oh my God. And it was one of the best. I remember that night so vividly. I remember putting 2 cases of beer. The brewer at the time was like, "Bro, just take them." And I'm sticking in my car, and I can barely get in my car. And I'm like, I love this.
Awesome.
I love all of this.
So we had 2 minutes for a quick story.
Yeah.
2 minutes.
So 2008. I go to my first CBC craft
we
brewers
got
conference,
over an
right?
hour.
All right. So I go to San Diego, my first craft brewers conference, and I go alone, right? So it's April 2008. My wife's at home. I got 3 youngish children, right? And Dan doesn't go. His wife's expecting at the time, so he does not come out. And I drag my buddy Charlie with me. He's just nothing to do with the beer. He's just one of my oldest best friends. So we go out to San Diego. I have no idea what we're doing. We have a concept, right? We don't have a business plan with nothing, but we were we're gonna open a brewery, and so it was the most magical fucking 3 days.
It's like going to Disney World for adults.
No,
it is.
You're so shitting on Disney World at this point right now. So the night one they have a brewers they have socials, right?
The socials, yeah.
Right. So there was a pool house that they converted. They literally strapped gutters, built a cold room, the San Diego Brewers Association, with 120 taps, with a gutter as the drink rail, right? You got a guest list. First time I met Garrett Oliver, I'm like, who's that? Oh, it's a black gay cowboy dressed up in the corner. Garrett Oliver. Never met him before. First time. Awesome. Fantastic dude. Who would dress like a cowboy at the beer festival? Garrett Oliver. He would do it. So I'm there, and I'm alone. I don't know anybody. My buddy Charlie's not there. They have this 120 beer list. So I'm literally just going up. You'd be like, they give you a 16-ounce pint glass. You're walking number 16. Pour the beer, number 12. Go up, whatever. So I'm hanging out, and Pete and Mark roll out from wherever the fuck they came from, high as fuck.
Oh, yeah.
Reeking weed. They go, Greg, what are you doing here? I go, I think I'm going to open a brewery. Mark literally goes like this, and pats me on the shoulder. He goes, good luck, and he fucking walks away. And I've had this conversation with Mark years later, and Pete was, and if you know Mark and Pete, they're very, very different personalities, right?
Definitely.
So Pete's like, dude, what are you doing? Is that a menthol? Let's rip the fucking filter off and smoke that butt. All right, breaking cigarette filters off and smoke. Really? We're Lucky Striking this shit right now? And we're smoking cigarettes, and Mark just literally just fucking patted me and said, good luck, and fucking walked away. So years later, I go to him, I go, look, I gotta be honest. I took that one way then and a second way now. I gotta be honest. I thought it was kind of a dicky fucking thing. You said, good luck, you patted me on the shoulder and walked out, fuck off.
Yeah.
And the same respect, after being owning a brewery for 4 or 5 years, that fucking good luck resonated in a whole nother fucking light.
Oh, yeah.
And I can appreciate whatever his sentiment was, doesn't matter. Because it resonated on day 1 and day 5 fucking years later, 2 different things, and they both were equal.
Yep.
And Pete was the same, just high as fuck and did not give a shit about the world.
Sheila, I want to talk to you about post Lady as a Bomb.
Fragile as a
Bomb. From the Lady Brewers. I don't know why I said lady.
Good job.
Obviously, a lot of hype over it throughout Long Island.
Yeah.
How did it receive? What was the feedback? What did you guys hear about it after we had you on?
It was actually pretty incredible.
Cool.
Truthfully. Obviously, this was our second year, so we had a lot more experience with just the brewing process for ourselves. So that was definitely key. And we had a lot more control over the entire project. We really nailed down every single detail ourselves. And it was really important that we had no outside influence on it. If we needed a little bit of help here and there, if we had questions, we had so many resources to go to. But the beer itself, I think, came out incredible. And the feedback that we got was amazing across the board.
Yeah.
Men, women alike, everybody seemed to just really enjoy that flavor profile.
It helps it was an IPA for sure.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
That gave you that leg up. And then, of course, just different. And everyone wants a little different than what they have all the time.
Well, I think the guava also just added such another, it was it was a lighter style IPA, but the guava made such a punch on that beer.
Yeah.
It was, honestly, and we had nothing, we brewed it in-house. We had nothing really to do with it. They had the recipe. We just facilitated.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But they brought everything to the table. Honestly, it was completely self-sufficient. It had really nothing to do with us. We literally just facilitated the project. They were so incredible about it because of how they came up with the recipe, the process, the price point. They handled everything from day one, made it so simple to deal with. And the beer, honestly, knocked out of the fucking park.
Yeah.
It was a great beer.
Yeah.
It was delicious. They killed it.
I do have to say too, just the artwork that was done on it,
Yeah.
and where it
Label was
came
great.
from
Yes.
Yeah.
was I besides the beer being a really good beer, made it even better for me because just the statement that artwork made was very cool.
Thank you.
It was deep, honestly. When
Yeah.
you like,
Yeah.
when you take a step back, like, I'm a man. I'm not very sensitive, according to my wife. But honestly, Steve, your touch melts.
Melting hearts by the day.
Lower. but honestly, when you look at the project, you see what the project's about. You look at that label and you take a second. It was fucking. It was deep. It really was. It was kind of fucking deep.
I feel like we were really fortunate because we knew from the beginning that it was going to be important for us to work with other women that were local and find somebody that was on the same wavelength as we were. And we found 2 incredible artists that understood the project and really wanted to participate. And they nailed it, you know, like. I don't think that on this project there was anything I would go back and change on it, honestly. Yeah. So.
Cool. Are you already started planning the?
Yeah,
the
I
next
mean,
one?
the wheels have been turning since before we even rolled out this one, honestly.
But
And
now you got to figure out where is the 3rd batch being brewed.
right, so Rob from Uber Geek kind of already like called. Hosting.
I had that
so-
feeling coming.
Got dibs.
Yeah, exactly.
Dibs.
Which I love. I love Uber Geek. I love Rob. He's a sweetheart. And I know that he understands
I smell marijuana. I like it.
vibe.
I do too.
Yeah, it's
Man,
wafting out your
it's
well.
pretty good.
Gonna call that next lady beer Mary Jane.
And the infinite sadness.
And
Lady
the
Gravy
infinite
number
sadness.
3.
Yeah, not Lady Gravy,
Lady
like we were
Gravy
talking
number
about.
3.
Lady Gravy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or just call it Lady Green
Right.
or something like that, and then you got a nice.
Shit. All weekend you've been calling yourself Gravy Legs.
I know. You know what? I've been really good. Something
Yeah,
kind of
thank God.
turned.
I know you haven't shit your pants once.
No.
Why not once?
No Gravy Legs here.
Amazing.
Day's
weekend.
not over.
Nope.
Don't jinx it now.
We still got time.
Yep.
I mean, the concept, as Steve was saying, great. The reaction online, and of course, Hopscotch sold out very quickly, and
Yes.
Yeah.
everywhere you delivered it, it seemed to go
Everybody.
very fast.
It was like gone like that. It was incredible.
So Greg was mentioning price points. You guys had to go through the business end of that too, kind of
Right.
put yourself through those paces.
Well, the thing is that all of us really come from grassroots, smaller breweries, right? And in any business, any smaller business, you wear a million hats when you work there, right? So I'm the manager of the tasting room. I do the marketing, the social media, but I literally was driving the forklift the other day and offloading pallets of kegs.
Those kegs are now garbage.
No. They made it safely. I don't know if Greg knew that. Greg might not have known that I did that.
Did you get certified?
I knew she did it.
I'm not certified.
All right.
But man, I kick ass on the forklift, so
Send her.
putting it out there.
Send her. Get that forklift
Listen,
license.
my wife thinks she's a good driver too. That's okay.
I am a very
good job,
good
Sheila.
driver. I'm a
Good job,
very
Sheila.
good driver.
You bring him to and from.
Yeah.
Safely.
1-800-OSHA.
Yeah. But my point is that you tend to kind of like chip in, you pitch in on the jobs because that's what needs to get done for that time, right?
Take on a lot of hats.
Yeah, exactly. And all of us do, really. So, we all have a little bit of experience across the board, and where one person was weak, the other person was strong. So we make a really good team that way. Yeah.
And you have a really strong team.
It's really like us too. Mike and Pete are really strong, and I'm just a fucking dead weight.
That's my role as well, Steve.
Brother, that's why I love you.
Yeah, we're both equal shitheads.
We are just the fucking anchor that drags the fucking system down.
We're just the eye candy, Steve. I
Yes.
get it.
Yeah.
That's why I bring them.
Sheila looks at me every day. She goes, "Shake that sugar ass for me." I go, "I can't do that."
You're not supposed to tell people that, Greg.
I know. I'm the head of HR. It's a problem.
Is it a problem if you have to report to
Wait,
yourself?
No, I am literally HR.
Yeah.
You
No
have to
way.
report fucking awesome, by the way. You're like, "What's that dick joke? Bring it in.
Yeah.
Bring it in."
Yeah, exactly.
Who do I turn to now?
it louder
Can we make it racial? Bring it in.
All right, hold on. We're going to stop.
And if
this
you have a little religion in there,
throw some politics to sprinkle in that, and we're good
Yeah,
to go.
no worries. Listen.
No, it's all about having fun too. I mean, the camaraderie, you guys and your team, the other teams on the North Fork, everyone seems to just have their thing rocking. An well-oiled machine
We're
everywhere you
super
go.
lucky. I mean, we're lucky in that respect, especially, the entire Me Too thing that kind of hit the craft beer industry, right?
And thanks for bringing us down, Sheila.
I'm not bringing it down, but it is really an important
All right, that was a great
topic,
show.
right?
Steve and I go see
Right,
face to
and you know what?
face.
Not one thing that I could tell came out of anything particular on Long Island.
Right.
Which is great.
No Long Island breweries.
No. I mean,
Yeah, that one went out of business.
there have been people that were called out from Long Island, right?
Previously, yes. Like a year or two ago, there was definitely a situation. Yeah.
But
I remember
when you
that.
saw the names of the breweries that were getting called out on the list, you're like, holy shit! And it's bigger than anybody I think really expected. Yeah. Right.
It was overwhelming.
Overwhelming.
The number of stories,
And I mean, as a woman, that kind of is something that we deal with all the time, right? So for us, a lot of us blow it off because we're used to stuff like that, right? But when you see it in front of you in black and white, all these names, all these instances, you're like, holy shit! Like this is a bit crazy, but. So it makes us, when we work in such an awesome atmosphere, it makes us feel more grateful for that. Like it should always be like that. Right. Every atmosphere should be like that.
But then you realize how lucky you are.
Yeah.
Well, listen,
we have such a great team.
And we will be honest. Like we are terribly inappropriate.
Yes.
But we also all know our boundaries, right?
Right.
And that's part of the
But I
game.
mean,
right?
it's not-
as long as everyone's comfortable with that,
Right.
that
Correct.
same level of
Right.
And it's not just the guys that are terribly
No,
inappropriate.
actually, the women are
I
far
am-
worse than us.
Yeah, we're all
because we know we're on blast.
I did not want to bring that up, but
we know we're on blast.
Yeah.
So we know we have to step cautiously, like we're in a fucking minefield of dog shit every day. The women though roll deep and hard. But
and
we're
a lot
just
of women
giving
on
it
women.
back. We're just trying to give a little bit back.
And we
That's
got
all.
to listen. You got to take it,
Yeah.
right? We've dished it. We got to take it. But honestly, I think a lot of that, and just being really sincere and honest about that is, no one, male, female, should ever be uncomfortable wherever you go to work every day.
Yes.
Wherever you spend your time, you should never be uncomfortable.
Yes.
So
I'm sorry.
And those
sorry, Steve.
Okay.
those boundaries vary workplace to workplace,
yeah,
right?
sure.
So like we are very fortunate that we have a very family-like, close-knit team that we can speak freely, we can talk. And if somebody came to us to say that, we would obviously address it and deal with it. And we've even had customers that have made staff uncomfortable with statements, and we've addressed that. We've asked people to not come back. We've banned people from the brewery because of statements they've made.
Right.
And some of them have been female, honestly, that we've said you can no longer come back, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's being just straight. So part of it is also those boundaries of knowing is that, listen, this is a fun industry, right? This is a social industry. We drink, right? People get fucked up. I'm just
make poor decisions.
I'm just speaking personally right now. Some of us get blackout drunk on a Thursday and Friday night before a beer festival and deal with
I
it.
thought he was talking about me.
Don't remember the conversation we have. But the bottom line is that regardless of all of that is that at the end of the day, the people that you work around with have to be comfortable. They have to be within those boundaries. And if they're not, there's a problem. If they are, it's great. And again, we're all also not so tight-knit that it's not. The beer industry is not corporate typically, right?
Yeah.
So that's why we're in the beer industry. We don't like the corporate lifestyle. We are an outsider group typically, right? So part of that is knowing those boundaries, respecting those boundaries, but also not making people feel uncomfortable.
Right.
So, and you also build that atmosphere where they feel comfortable coming to you saying,
right.
Listen, I didn't really like what you said. And you're like, you know what? You're right. I'm good.
Or if we hear something on the outside, going to them to say, did that make you uncomfortable, right?
Yeah.
Are you? And if you are,
that shows them you have your back.
Let's
right.
do it.
And that's important,
Yeah.
knowing that, the people that run the company you're at have your back and are there to support you is really invaluable, honestly.
We've told all of our bar staff, if a customer makes you uncomfortable, you clap back. Like the way I was, I'm 49, the way I was raised, my father said, somebody hits you, hit him back twice as hard, right?
Yeah.
That's how I was raised. And that's the same mentality. Customer claps at you, you clap back twice as hard. If they don't like it, fuck them. And if they're out of bounds, you come to us, and we'll tell them to fuck off on your back, no problem.
Right.
Because none of our bar staff should be made to feel uncomfortable to be standing there.
Yeah.
And listen, there's there's levels, right?
Yeah.
But when you come to us and you say, I'm uncomfortable because of X, that's a problem, and we need to address it as owners.
Yeah.
And if you don't, that's fucked up.
And that's the way you develop the environment. That's the way you develop the community within yours and within Long Island in general.
Absolutely.
And that's that. I guess I was very thankful that nothing came out, particularly about anything going on. And
me and you both. I was scrolling that whole thing. Like this. Long Island,
please, no Long Island.
Is this alphabetical?
Oh, God,
what is
please.
this?
Oh God, please! Oh God, please! Oh God, please!
It was hard to read too. There was,
you don't want to see friends go
It's
down
really-
too. That
No,
you're like,
absolutely.
I thought I knew this
Sad.
person,
Right.
and now this comes out. I'm like, fuck now.
And I saw that a lot, actually, like in the different women's beer groups that I'm in, I saw a lot of people say, I knew this person, I thought that we were friendly.
Wow.
He was nice to me.
Right.
And I had no idea that all these other things were going on. And now, I can't bother to look at them.
Yeah.
Because it's, that kind of thing can't be tolerated. I don't care if you've been friends forever. It's just, it's not right.
And as a rule, I only slap men's asses.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that. Thank
it's
you.
Safe.
Steve loves it.
Usually.
I've always
He
thought
invites
it
more
was
of
very, very well meant.
That's always
loving.
been well within my
Love
bounds.
it.
And if you say good game, we're all fine.
Listen, while you guys are pouring all weekend, what was the big takeaway from the entire weekend?
Honestly, for me, this is our first time doing AC Beerfest, and so first time doing AC Beerfest, first festival post COVID.
Yeah.
And honestly, it feels
First
awesome.
concerts.
Yeah, it feels everything.
Yeah, that's
honestly,
true.
I didn't know what the vibe was going to be, and honestly, it feels awesome.
Yeah.
It feels great. It feels
normal again.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
The thing that fucked, and we brought this up earlier, I'm still a little fucked up by it. We went from last week,
Yeah.
people coming into your brewery wearing a mask, and
Yes.
you got to sit the fuck down before you can take it off. Don't stand up and drink a beer. Don't fucking do any of that.
this.
To
Yeah.
this.
This.
Hanging out,
5,000
hugging
fucking people.
Yes.
Music stage.
I'm in the
Yes.
Les and Jake
It
pit.
happens so
It's like
fast.
watching people run around.
Yes.
It did.
It's-
And it happened so fast that a lot of people out by us, are just confused by it. They
Yes.
don't know how to act.
Right.
They
We
come
did-
in and they're
actually,
like,
we didn't
is
either.
it okay? What do we do?
We actually, our first stop was Kane.
Right.
We stopped at Kane Brewing on the way here, and we're like,
We-
we
I
didn't
had a mask on,
know
yeah.
what the fuck to
Yeah.
do.
No, I didn't need it.
It is awkward. I didn't know what to do. I did not wear a mask, but I have 2 pair of underwear on. I don't know what that does, but I'm just doing it.
We had
Works just
people
as
coming in though, announcing their vaccination
Yes.
status to us, and I'm like, I don't need to know that.
Yes.
You're self-certifying. I don't
Hello,
need. I don't
President
need
Moderna
it.
here.
Right. Exactly.
I am registered number 5 from the ISS in New York State. 5. I don't have it actually.
Don't do it. Don't do it. They're gonna,
Don't say it on
they're
the
gonna-
air.
Don't say it
No,
on the
you
air.
do it.
I don't have it, but I do have my
Oh.
QR code.
Thank
Oh,
God.
fancy.
But I mean, that doesn't really matter because
No.
if, at this point,
Right, no,
Yeah.
it doesn't. And you don't really know at this point, who is vaccinated, who isn't. We're all,
I'm not.
in it together now.
and with the
so-
infection rate being so low, it isn't mattering at this
Mushrooms
point.
kills everything, bro.
That's what I heard.
Don't encourage
Get
it.
high ABV
Yeah,
and
man.
mushrooms and weed.
You're
we are
killing
4
me.
minutes away to eating.
Listen,
Killing
by the way,
Oh shit.
I have been never stopped working through COVID, right? Never stopped talking to customers. I was doing every protocol that was necessary. And honestly, I'm so thankful that none of us, zero, got COVID
Right.
from the brewery.
That's awesome.
Oh,
Nothing.
yeah, right.
Nope, nobody.
Nope.
So we were very, very blessed from that. I mean, again, we did everything we were supposed to do through the process, but we were very, and we had some ancillary people that were close friends that helped us that did get it, had it on the outside or whatever, and some of them had it bad.
Bad, yeah.
We, you know,
Unfortunately.
But
Yep.
and now most of our staff is vaccinated at this point.
Yeah.
Almost everybody.
I think that
But
there's maybe
you.
one
Except me.
one that's not.
I'm the road guy with a
Me too.
diaper on his face when you come to the brewery. So actually, I upgraded to Depends because I'm old.
Incontinent.
Yes.
We're gonna call you old gravy legs next.
Oh, pretty
Yeah.
lady.
You call me Lady Gravy.
Lady gravy.
Oh, God.
Greggy Gravy.
Oh, that's a good one.
Lady gravy.
That's awful.
Yes, it is.
Give us the big plug. Long Island, Riverhead. Give us the address, the
everything.
Social media information, hours of operation, where people can find it.
When's
in
the next
Northeast.
festival in your brewery? When's the next event?
Great question.
Oh,
so
well,
many things.
So
we've
I'm
got-
always working on events.
And we've got some shit in the hopper.
Yeah.
So we'll do the plug first. Long Island
Yes.
Brewery, 817 Pulaski Street, Riverhead, New York. 631-403-4303 if you want to call for
Nice
anything.
work.
We are open Monday through Friday, 3 to 7, but starting the end of June, we'll be
We're open Monday.
hours.
We're actually open Monday through Friday, 3 to 9, not
Whatever.
7.
Greg's a
summer
little
hours?
drunk.
Was it 7 before? Now it's
No,
12?
it wasn't.
12?
Always 9.
Always 9.
All right.
12 to 9.
Always 9.
Greg leaves at 7. That's why I had no
I
idea.
try to get up by 6:30. I gotta be honest. Like, later, bitches.
Nice
Dinner
try,
and
though.
homework with the kids. I gotta go.
Later, bitches that I meet
man.
in a non-female orientation.
And then Saturday, 12 to 9, Sunday, 12 to 7.
There's that 7.
There it is.
Yes.
There it is.
Somewhere.
He was
You
on
knew you had
Sunday
it.
time, guys.
Always open. Always open.
Always open.
Always
yes.
open. Like my legs.
Always.
Always open.
Did you guys hold on to your staff the entire
Yeah,
time?
we have our entire
Like, you
staff
mean literally
now.
hug them?
Yeah, just
Yes.
don't go.
We did,
Don't
yes.
leave us.
Yes.
We hugged them as soon as
Unlike
we
that
could.
fucking
Yeah.
bitch in Titanic that let that fucking Jack fucking die on that
Die.
door.
There was room on
We
that
hold-
door. There was definitely room on that fucking door.
125% there was room in that door. That fucking bitch. We hold on to our staff.
I agree with that.
Yes.
We did lose a couple of bartenders.
We lost
and
actually we
and a
lost
brewer.
most of our brewing staff for COVID.
Yeah.
Honestly, we lost.
You got,
Yeah.
you
To
got
other
one of my
people,
boys,
or
though, I heard.
because
No, I think it has
Jamie.
more to do with just, our
No,
brewer
no,
needed childcare, right?
Right.
So, he's doing that.
Yeah, when all the kids came home, it was tough.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
James.
Everybody
That
had
makes
such weird
no, we had
situations
Jamie
going on
Yeah.
that they never had to deal with. So, and then like I said, we lost a couple of bartenders, but for the most part, our core
Why
is
did-
still there. And,
Never mind.
And, we just added a couple of people too. Get ready
At least
for
they're
the
willing to
summer.
come back to work, which is nice.
Yeah,
It's hard to do.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Especially out there, nobody wants
Okay.
to work. So
Yeah, I know.
everybody's short staffed.
to investigate
September, though, you watch.
Oh,
September,
yeah.
you're running back and you'll be like, nah, we're
Yep.
doing when we need you.
Absolutely.
Fuck, Greg.
Greg, what do you got
So
coming up for events?
what's the event coming up?
So, Riverhead for I think it's just the 42nd or 43rd year has their Polish festival, right?
Ah.
And they have canceled it
good.
already for
Yeah.
2021.
Yeah.
So it's usually the third weekend in August.
Yes.
So we have decided that coming out of this festival, I'm going to file for our permits. We are going to continue Polish Fest
On your own.
We had
On our own, yeah.
Well, 2 years ago we had the Polka Brothers.
Yes.
Which is a New York City-based, Long Island-based polka band that does all
Polka
covers.
rock.
They were doing
Like
AC/DC
Weird
Back
Al
in,
kind of thing?
like AC/DC Back in Black, like
Yes.
With accordions.
like yes,
Yes.
That's cool.
like Nate
That's
Dogg,
great.
like
Amazing.
Nate Dogg regulate in polka
Oh,
style.
no.
Dude, it was fucking
It was.
insane. It was magical.
Yep.
So I think we're gonna book them for Saturday and Sunday. We're gonna do
Tell
the third
me.
weekend, and we're gonna do the whole front parking lot. We're gonna make it Polish Fest. We're gonna get kibasi vendors, and we're gonna keep Polish Fest alive this year.
Good for you.
At the brewery because fuck COVID, fuck the whatever town.
But
and
I
we're
mean,
gonna do
I'm
our
gonna
own
ask you.
shit.
I'm gonna ask you right now. Did he do Rage Against the Machine?
They do everything.
They might have. They actually
Everything.
might have.
They might have.
Yeah.
They
Can we
did
do the name of?
They did honestly.
In the name of.
Yeah.
They did Neil Diamond, fucking Nate Dogg, AC/DC.
And it was incredible. I mean, everyone was leaving the rest of the festival
They
to
did
come
Purple
hang
Rain.
out
They
by
did
us
fucking Purple
'cause
Rain.
They were great.
Polka, Purple Rain.
Yeah.
Have you been to fucking Prince Purple Rain and Polka? Fuck the world.
Yes.
Absolutely.
You are the new goats.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
So we're gonna try to keep Polish Fest. We're still looking to do our halfway party because of obviously the restrictions being lifted for September.
Yeah.
Yep.
And those are our two big ones coming up in the next 6
Yeah.
months.
Yep.
And then Sheila always has fantastic, awesome stuff for our social media for Long Island Beer on Insta, on social, on Facebook, everything else. She's got a ton of great events that she always does and always constantly putting shit up. So
nice.
Yeah, you got to do something,
Awesome,
Gotta
awesome.
keep
Gotta
bringing
keep it
people
fresh.
in.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Guys, really appreciate your time.
Yes.
Thank you guys.
I wanna
we
leave
love
it
you
at
guys.
that.
We love you guys.
Yeah.
Greg's got to go take mushrooms, and then
Yes.
Sheila's got to
Yeah.
clean up and watch,
Well,
babysit him.
It's 9:32, so
and
No,
he's
I'm
Wait,
off
behind.
the clock,
He's a couple
man.
minutes
I'm
behind.
off
Thank
the
God
clock.
Mushrooms
my
is
wife
money.
does not listen to the word. Everybody else should, except my wife.
Yeah, right.
Appreciate that. They're spoken from a true God. This is the word
By
we
the way,
might.
nobody's wife should listen to the word.
Hey, that's not true.
He
That's
almost
not
called
true.
his wife
And Sheila's husband should not listen to the word. By the way.
And on that, this is the word with Mike P and Steve, GovsRadio.com. here with Long Island Brewing Company. Check them out. And, of course, we probably will not have anybody else. It's getting way too late. We're going to break down. So you guys closed out the freaking weekend.
Yes.
It was a good weekend.
Not a better way to do it.
Thank you guys.
Not a better way to do it.
We would we're honored and pleased to close it out.
Yeah.
You know what? Yeah. We should close it out the way we close out all of our.
Of course.
Hand jobs?
No. Well, not on
Zoom. Everybody go to the left.
What do you mean, well, what?
Well,
you know, when the lights go down and the people go away.
By the way, that's that whole HR thing of knowing boundaries.
Yeah.
Apparently, I stepped outside.
He's a habitual line stepper.
Because Steve would not look me in the eye when I said hand jobs. And that's part of the hand job. It's looking me in the eye.
You gotta look away. Just look away.
All right. Well, this is where Mike B. GubsRadio.com. Thanks everyone for checking us out. This is gonna be the second part of the two-part series. Of course, if you don't know, it's going to be out on all of our platforms, the Hoppedup Network. I want to say very special thanks for the Hoppedup Network and, of course, AC Beerfest for bringing us back this year. We already got the okay for next year.
Yes, awesome. Awesome. By the way, that whole hand job thing was from Bolero Snort.
Right, yeah.
Those motherfuckers.
Throw it on them. And then Juicy Pebbles.
Yes.
We want to thank all of our sponsors. Brewbag, with all the fun games out here. For everybody, go to brewbag.com and the Wort as a promo code. Thanks to Rosie's Draft Solutions. Thanks to Brewers Hardware. Thanks to VintageBeerShirtClub.com.
Beer Maker.
Thank you for Beer Maker.
Beer Maker.
We're going to continue making some beer. Steve's going to get the next roundup, and he's on to the next brew. And awesome weekend. Had a great time. Before we get out of here, Steve, something to say before we leave.
I love craft beer people.
Yeah,
yes.
Me too.
Love these
Amen.
fuckers.
Fucking awesome industry.
I love them all.
Yeah.
Save the turtles.
Oh,
nice.
Don't forget to have your turtle spade.
Are they Ninja Turtles or just regular turtles?
All of them. They can't. If you don't save them early on, they can't grow up.
They can't grow up to be ninjas.
Greg.
Fair statement. I agree.
Leonardo wouldn't exist.
No.
Son of a bitch.
Pete's eating, motherfucker.
This is the one with Mike, Pete, and Steve. GubsRadio.com. We out.
Well, that's 2 hours of your life you're never getting back.
First off, it was 3 hours.
What the fuck? Honestly, how can you talk about beer for 3 hours?
It's beer. There's so many elements in it.
Where's mine? It's been 3 hours and I don't even get a single beer.
You don't get shit.
This is The Wort on Gubs Radio. I hope you're drunk enough.